Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the 1879 actual play. I am Brad Decker. I'm the line developer for 1879. I play the character Nigel Fullmore, and let's let everybody else go ahead and do their introductions while I get the announcements posted.
Hi, I'm Chris. I've done some writing for 1879, just a little bit, and I play the character of Weymont.
Hi, my name is Drew. I play a troll bodyguard, a soldier by the name of Mac.
Hi, I'm Joel. I'm one of the writers for 1879. I'm playing the Aristocrat Morgana Temple Whitworth. Use her full name. Well, some of her full name.
I'm Michelle, and I play August, who's an elf, and his profession is investigator.
Wait, when did that happen?
I know, right?
I mean, somebody should really investigate into finding out when that happened.
I mean, to be honest, we are
You should
all
hire an
investigators.
actual
Thank you.
investigator. You should hire an actual investigator to find out when that happened.
August, you're a man.
No pressure.
I'm Lexi. I play River in Elven Explorer.
Are we done with me?
I
I
believe
think
so.
so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Andi, and I'm here. Yay! And more importantly, Batsy's gonna have babies, which is all I care about right now for the next 4
Yay!
months.
Okay.
I hear Papillon babies can strip your flesh in seconds.
Not at first. At first, they're fuzzy jelly beans, but when they hit land shark phase, they will destroy anything in their path. You have to corral the land sharks.
More
And then they
dangerous
eat
than
holes
again
in that corral that I have to fix and patch like every other day. Because land shark mode.
It could be worse, Andy. They could be goats.
They could, but I wouldn't have a goat.
No,
I
that's
don't know
true.
about that. I wouldn't have
Goats
a goat.
hate you.
And
Goat,
close desert.
If I had anything,
but don't
I was
take it
gonna get
personally.
lambs,
Goats hate everyone and everything.
'cause lambs apparently are a lot more docile and a lot less tearing up everything. And the German Shepherd could be trained to fetch them for me.
What, goats?
Goats and lambs are
Goats are a-holes.
very close.
No, I was
The German
thinking that
Shepherd fetching lambs is such a cute idea.
you could train the German Shepherd up to fetch goats for you.
Are you
Goats
saying
don't
that you?
listen
That's
to
what I
anyone.
heard. That's what I heard.
Wait. Are you saying that the German Shepherd would get your goat?
Yes, the German
Oh.
Shepherd apparently would get your goat. That's very good. Brad gets 50 XP. Woohoo! Starting this out right today.
I'm just going to point out, guys, I realised something just looking at the in-game notes. We were all worried about this wedding happening next to the summer solstice. We're in July. The summer solstice has already happened.
Oops.
Yeah, summer solstice would be June 21st-ish.
21st-ish, and we're on July the 11th, and the wedding's on the 23rd of July.
Yeah, nope, that's true.
Just saying. I'm not saying we haven't got things to worry about, though for once, Morgana isn't contemplating how much she needs to drink to get over this investigation. Then it's a wedding, so she might get drunk anyway. But on the plus side, no solstice to worry about. Just everything else.
Well, I mean, there is a solstice, but not that solstice. Because remember, there's 8. So the next one would be in August. There's an August solstice. It's the beginning of harvest.
Lunar Cert, is that one?
I was saying, the next solstice is in August.
Ouch.
I don't think solstice means what I think it
Like
means.
a month and a half to find out.
There's 8 proper big festivals throughout the year. I guess solstice tends to be mid and summer and midwinter, but yeah.
Well, so depending on which religion and calendars, but there's 8 because you have your equinoxes and then you have your that's not even talking about full moons. Yeah. The next major solstice would be in August, and I will double check what date. because I should remember that, but I swear it's around the 20th as well. It's 19 to something. Yeah, I'll double check that really quick. However, that may mean that you guys have a little bit more time on dealing with that, and will retro that to you don't have a week to decide. You have a little bit of time, but it also may mean that you want to consider talking to the brownie about her more, and because just to point out, the brownie was very clear that he helped the one lady through her change to make sure she was ready. And as been fully noted, she doesn't look like most trolls, women.
Ugh.
And for the viewers on there, I disagree about the number of solstices and equinoxes. That's not my understanding, but I'm moving on.
So technically, the term solstice is not correct. It's Sabbath. But there are 8 major holidays that are tied to times of the year, usually harvest and all sorts of things. But so technically, it would be a Sabbath.
Astrological events.
Yeah. So it's Lugnan Sa. I can never pronounce this one.
Yeah.
Lughnassadh.
I think Lunasat,
August
but I
1st.
may be wrong about. Yeah.
Well, because it's in that whole, like, if you look at SAMHAIN, as an American, you want to say Samhain, and it's like Samhain.
It's
Yeah.
Samhain,
Yeah,
yeah.
it gets into some Celtic pronunciation, which is worse
Yeah,
than French pronunciation.
You
So
can
they-
only you can only
Lugh is usually pronounced Lou.
yeah.
Luznanda.
I would
Something
say
like that.
this time period
Lunasa.
in America would want to say what the Sam Hill.
There you go. But so August 1st, because it's the 4 major Celtic festivals are Beltane, which is May 1st, Lugan's
Lunasa,
Lou,
yep.
which is August 1st, and then you have Samhain, which is the 31st going into the 1st because it's New Year's, and then you have
Yep.
Imbolc, which is February 1st, which is very big on the making of the babies spring thing.
Yeah.
So yes, there you go.
Yep.
But
Plus the 2 equinoxes and the 2 solstices.
That would actually make a lot of sense because you go from harvest to the time of basically darkness, staying more together, winter, which
And
that's a good time to be married because you warmth and cuddling and all that. So
you've got
just
all the hunts. And given he's the person in question is
Yeah.
the wild hunt, it's
Is
also
right.
the time the year that the traditional hunting seasons tend to start.
Right. So it would make
that
even more
and
sense
you
that
want
there.
the
So we'll-
babies
we'll
born
retro
not
that
in
a
that
little bit.
season because you don't want them born when there's scarcity. You want them born when there's, warmth and
Well-
stuff
Yeah.
going on.
So you make babies in winter
Yeah,
so that they show up in fall and you have food, but it's a thing. Anyhow, the point being, we are retroing this a little bit to fit the correct timetable that some of us, including my silly self, missed and wasn't paying enough attention to. But it does mean that you have more time to try to figure out how to prepare the young lady who, when you last talked to her, was seriously considering this.
I think we might have to get our
possibly
research
prepare the
boots on
brownie
and
for her, he has the wrong person.
yeah. Yes, I believe we were plotting an introduction between the brownie and the old family and the new family, and sorting out those bits was, I think, the next thing. And then potentially we can start, trying to work out how to deal with the weird stuff.
Yeah, it's not the brownie's fault. We mortals all look the same.
Yep.
I mean, you kind of do. So, who wants to recap and possibly remind us that it's the wrong Sabbath?
Try to make some sense out of everything we just talked about.
Yeah, I can do the summing up if you want.
You are good at summing up.
Yeah, it's true.
You are.
We have been hired by our boss / secretary, Miss Price, to have a look into efforts to seemingly sabotage her niece's wedding. Lots of strange little accidents and oddities happening around the house. We have discovered that the accidents were probably the result of a mischievous brownie causing trouble because they haven't been invited to the wedding that they've politely been preparing the bride for. However, it turns out the brownie might have got the wrong girl and certainly is mistaken about who she's planning to marry because she's marrying a nice human boy who actually seems nice and reasonable and comes from a decent family. We're all slightly surprised by that, I suspect. However, the brownie thinks he's preparing her for the to be bride of a leader of the Wild Hunt, and at least in part, it may be that the original family who built the house on the grounds of Brownie, who have gone down in the world, may in fact be the one who should be briding that daughter. And we have found that family, and that daughter is in fact entirely up for improving her standard by marrying up in the world, even if up in the world is maniacal fey huntsman. I suspect the maniacal huntsman may be about to bite off more than you can chew. What's that? Sorry?
Maniacal's a little judgmental there. Just a little.
He's
I
the leader of the
agree.
Wild Hunt. I have expectations. I'm sorry. That's my thinking on it. But yeah.
No.
Let's be honest. He's not going to be mild mannered now, is he?
I'm having fun with you.
He might be a really nice Baylor, you know.
We can but hope. Plans are being put in place to deal with him if he decides to get rude about it. That is for sure.
Yes.
You know, you're talking about dealing with the Lord of the Wild Hunt, and I would love to see that.
I'll get popcorn.
By dealing with, I think we're merely shooting in the face with cold iron. But hey, it might work.
I mean, we could also always just do a hunting competition.
I'm going to say right now, shooting him in the face is probably a better thing than trying to have a hunting competition with the Lord of the Wild Hunt. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yes, I was about to say, he's the Lord of the Wild Hunt. He wins.
But guys,
infinity practiced.
Guys, River just offered a plan off her own bat that as an alternative to shooting something at someone in the face. We're making progress.
That's growth. However, we like River and want to keep her.
I don't know, because hunting usually, I'm pretty sure, is going to mean shooting something.
I'm not saying okay. Someone gets shot, but it's still progress. I think.
I think so. I agree. All right. So, when I last remember, you had talked to her. She seemed the other girl. She seemed possibly interested and was going to get back to you within a few days.
Yeah.
And you guys still have a week or so before the wedding to plan and prep and try to get all of the parties on board with plans. So where are you starting?
I think we're going to be once the young lady has made a decision about whether she wants to see if the Lord's Wild Hunt is in the market for a bride. I think it's introducing her and her family to the brownie and helping sort out that little piece of.
Okay, so we're going to give it a day or two because right now the brownie's no longer trashing things for the wedding.
Yep.
And the family is working on the plans that you guys came up with to appease the brownie.
Yep.
There's still a whole lot of questions on whether the brownie belongs with this family, the original family. How does that work? What happens when she moves? Blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of that isn't totally settled. But you guys are back at the office a little bit because while you were kind of waiting and doing your own thing, you all get a message from Miss Price that says, you should come look at this. So who has, just so I remember correctly, because I think the mirror is at the office, but not where Miss Price runs into. I think you put it in the basement. The mirror that you feed the dormice.
I think it is.
I think Mac had it last.
Yeah.
Did we use a specific mirror? I thought we established that we could do that in pretty much any mirror.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I think we did. My recollection is that we used different mirrors a couple different times, but there was a first one that was kind of in the
office.
on the wall that had some stuff around it when they were sending us a message, and then Miss Price was like,
put it out.
yeah.
And it was in
And
the
so
alley.
that one, she wanted out of the house, and so we did something with it. And I think it probably wound up in storage because it's not the kind of thing one leaves lying around.
Yeah.
That's my understanding. Could be different.
Okay.
So in the basement of the office sounds plausible to me.
Okay, so I want to make sure, because that was it. I wanted to make sure. So, but Mrs. Price sent you a note, and she's like, "You should come see this."
I will go and see this, whatever this is.
Okay. So you guys all get to the office, and there's a very shiny silver serving platter. You've seen it before. She's brought you, biscuits, cookies, on it. And there's a gun on it. And she's like, I don't have a gun. And no one, did one of you leave a gun? But I don't recall you leaving a gun because it wasn't on there earlier and no one else has been in the office.
Is that the same gun that I handed over to them?
Perception. You tell me. Somebody look at the gun and see if you recognize it.
I got a 9 on a straight perception test.
That's a good number.
Let's see here.
Can I roll a firearms based perception based one?
Technically it's a sight thing, so Brad, is awareness fine for that? But I think it's more of a memory thing than a sight thing.
No, what River's trying to do is use the skill, but use it perception-based because it's knowledge, and yes, that is established in doing. You can do the same thing for like Equestrian and that sort of thing. So yes, you just apply, you add your rank in the skill for firearms to perception.
Okay. See, I even checked to make sure I was doing it right today. Look at that.
And I got a 7.
Okay. So I have a 9 and a 7. 13.
Matt got a 12.
So the 13 and 12. Sorry. I don't know awareness works because this is more of a memory thing.
Okay. Step 7.
So what stat are we basing this off of, sorry?
Perception.
Perception. Okay.
10.
The perception's decent, but I'll have to check. Perception status
Cool.
8.
Yeah, I got a 10.
Okay, I'm going to give it to River and Mac, but I'm also giving it to Brad because Brad's the one who put it on the mirror, in a mirror, whatever, right?
On a mirror?
We were in their realm and I handed it over to them.
There was another thing. What did Mac give over to him? Mac gave them something too. Want to remember what it is?
Visited the prison for the criminally insane, if I remember right.
It was something. What, Mac? Do you remember what you gave him?
There was something that was tied into the madness at the asylum that they could eat and destroy the negativity on. I don't remember what the focus was.
I can't remember what the item was. Anyhow, but the gun that Brad gave them is on that. So you all three totally recognize that that is that gun.
All right, so we need to check our treaty with them because otherwise bad things can start to happen in lots of places.
They
No,
finished shooting the bad stuff off it.
Yeah, no, I think they've just eaten the negative energy off of it. I'm going to roll an astral sight on the thing.
What Mac, while they're doing that, the astral investigation, what Mac will do is he'll find a little like spot in the basement near the mirror, like a box that has a lid that we can put a lock on. And the artifacts that have been to the Fey realm and returned with the negativity cleared, if that's what's going on, those to me probably should not be left lying around. So we'll secure those near the mirror in case, just to keep things more calm or less loose ends running around.
No,
Does
if
anyone
I took
have a
the
different-
energy off my gun, I'm taking my gun back.
It's been to the Fey realms and back. Go ahead, man. It's yours. But I just don't want to leave the token from the asylum or other stuff that's had such a interesting history lying around. And I'll write that down and put it in a little bag with a note with the item from the asylum. The gun is whatever, but I just think that's appropriate. And I'll put some cold iron down in there to seal the box from curious little critters, and some herbs and other stuff that Gran would recommend.
So Mac wants to put the gun in a lead box with some stuff to. What are you guys doing before you get your box and your cold iron and all that?
Well,
Anybody
first off, I
somehow?
rolled my astral sight on the gun. I got 16.
Woo! Nice. So I don't recall that you actually looked at it in astral before you handed it over. I don't think you did.
Not in particular, but I would have had.
It should. So it has a pattern, which inanimate objects can have that's been near icky, but not necessarily a pattern. The gun now has a pattern.
Okay, well, that is interesting.
I thought proper patterns were a thing that happened to living things, or spells and that sort of thing.
Well, either way, I'm keeping this thing on me, if for nothing other than it being a, magical curiosity.
An excellent conversation starter. Leave it at a coffee table, dinner parties.
And Brad, Nigel has looked at a lot of. Not did Nigel? I have it right today. Nigel.
Yes,
I've
you
looked
did.
at a lot of things in astral, and inanimate objects can have an astral pattern, but that's only when roll magical theory. But I think your character can figure that out.
Second here. Yeah. 12.
So spells have patterns. Living things have patterns. So either the gun is alive, which you doubt, or it has some sort of magical ability.
There's a magic gun now.
Shouldn't that be bullets that are magic?
I mean, the gun has the pattern, so so it's a
Maybe
magic
it's
gun
fast.
now.
Well, this
In
is.
1879, do thread items have pattern?
There are
Or
no
the
thread.
equivalent of-
There are no thread items in
Never?
1879. The magic isn't
Yeah.
strong enough for patterns to hold threads.
So you don't
Like in Earthdawn.
understand totally yet, but your character's pretty level. There are two things that you know that have patterns: living things, gun does not appear to be living, and magic.
So
which
what we
means
have
someone is
here
somehow
is some,
probably magic.
some kind of relic.
So one, we need to determine what we're considering was the item that you sent from the asylum, and two, it has not shown back up yet. Just the gun showed up.
Well, the gun was the first thing we handed over to them, so.
Exactly. So I think we should take a moment and decide what it was so we can like mark it down because it's probably important.
I will find it
What
in my notes here.
from the
But
asylum?
by the way, what day are we on?
This is probably we'll say 2 days after you spoke to the other young lady who was making up her mind.
Okay, so we were on Friday, July 8th. This would make it Sunday, July 10th.
Yes.
I think we'd spent a couple of days having a look for things before we approached the lady, because the 8th was when we got the job.
Yes, probably. I figure you used your time wisely somehow.
Because we staked them out a little bit just to make sure we knew what we were getting into.
Yes.
So Tuesday the 12th?
I think we're on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, but yeah.
We're
Sunday
on
the 10th,
Sunday.
then.
Yeah. And because the last day was, I think, the 8th. So I think we're on Sunday. And we need to decide what the item from the asylum is because it does matter. Brad's looking through his notes. We're just giving him a minute. While the rest
I'm
of you
just
go.
catching up on getting that note down. I'm going to have to look up the stats for that gun again now.
Yeah, they're going to change. But yes, the base stats are not a bad thing to have.
Do we remember what day it was that you handed over the thing?
That you guys handed over the gun, or
No,
that you
not
guys handed over
not the
whatever from
gun. Whatever
asylum?
it was from the asylum.
Ooh, that was a while back.
Yeah, we'd been looking up the history of the place, and then I can't even remember now.
The 17th of June or thereabouts. I think so.
Yeah, Joel thinks we're near the 17th of June.
I don't think we really established. I think Mac just took a mirror to the asylum, and didn't put through an item. Just had him munch on the negative emotions in the asylum.
If we can't find it, let's just come to a decision and name what it is.
I'm still looking here.
Okay. But yes, a couple of things, Brad, is that whatever icky smudging that you would have thought would be on the gun is definitely gone. And yeah, it totally has a pattern. So the idea that they ate the negativity off of it seems very logical to you guys.
Yeah, there's nothing in the notes that I can see about what item was given to them other than the gun. And it's just got, we cut a deal with the dormice. We send them evil items to feed off. And that was maybe the 16th of June.
Yeah, I don't see anything listed in my notes for what it was.
So, and there is a
So,
note
Drew,
here that
what do
the
you-
original mirror that had writing in blood on it, River took that home, apparently, according to the notes.
Wherever you crazy thing.
Actually,
okay.
This might have been after that, because I have on the 16th, that was when we went over the information with the Grail Knights on what happened, and they don't consider that to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
But it was after that.
Not that I'm endorsing this, but I thought it was an interesting conversation starter. I typed in objects typical in a Victorian asylum. See what was kind of there in the days. restraints, straitjackets, padded cells, hydrotherapy baths, occupational therapy where they would be doing weaving, knitting, carpentry to give them a sense of purpose and to make products that could be sold, patient clothing, and interestingly enough, bird cages. A lot of asylums kept caged birds for companionship for the patients. Any of those would be fine with me. I have no plot implications. I just thought it was an interesting list.
I think I can one up that. They would also have the tools for lobotomies at that point.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, like I don't know.
But I
Please,
will
whatever
say-
ails you.
But I will say that the person who should decide this actually is Mac. Because it was Mac who thought to bring something and get it over.
I
So
am
Mac who
going
would
to,
decide.
so the item I'm going to choose, if that's what we're doing here, is I'm going to choose a little something from the lobby by the entrance where patients were taken in to that awful place, and it was one of the last things they would have seen in the little reception room as the door closed and their life changed and they went to hell. And for some reason, it's a focal point on their last looks and visions of the outside world. So a little objet or something that was in that lobby.
Logbook, maybe? Or
The
Possibly
logbook
flowers.
might
'Cause
be
they
hard
might
to
have,
get because they would be watching the logbook.
maybe
But-
like
they
a
might have had like
decorative pen stand or something?
They would have some decorative stuff around that would
Oh.
work.
possibly a decorative flower arrangement to make it look, a little genteel and pleasant.
Taxidermy.
Go ahead.
Taxidermy
Taxidermy.
brings gentility to the place. Or something. I'm told. I don't know.
So what is the item? Something
Let's
from
make
the
it
lobby.
let's make it a little crystal that hung in the window that had bright light and rainbows around it. That was the last thing that caught their eye before the door closed on them.
So like a pretty prism.
Yeah, just a little something that was hanging on the window there.
It's
Okay.
it's the prison prism.
I can see it though.
I think the dog approves.
Yep.
Now Nikki walked in the house with Gotti. Gotti's being a fool today. He likes to take his ball with him wherever he goes, and he'll like drop it in the water dish and things like that. So he decided apparently, and he's not done this since he was little, to drop it in a toilet. So clubs were involved, and Nikki took care of it and took it outside and washed it and all that good stuff. But yeah, he's being a good dog, I guess, sort of. He's being a dog. All right, so it was a prism. So now we know for sure what it is, and that is awesome. But yes, so the gun has come back. So my next question is Mac wants to put it in a box with some cold iron. Nigel apparently wants to take it with him.
It is Nigel's gun.
From Mac's perspective, he wanted the threat minimized. If the Morgana wants to take her gun, that's her call. He would respect it with no issues.
It wasn't Morgana's gun, it was Nigel's gun.
Nigel, it's all good. I just my instinct was to protect. So that's all that was coming from. If the only item here is the gun, it's yours and it's your call.
Yeah, no, because I still have the holster and everything for it, so I think it's better to keep it with the rest of its accessories.
For me as a GM, I don't care. I just need to know where it is.
Yep. So I will reholster it.
Okay, so that is handled. The next day, there is a note. You guys pretty much have to go back. but it's because the young lady has made a decision. And she is there with both parents. And she says she would like the match to be made. What are you guys going to do? I'm going to assume you're all in that lovely kind of sitting room where Miss Price brings you guys tea and biscuits like a good hostess. You drug in a few extra chairs and a settee.
Talk to her just to make sure she is completely happy with this as a thing, and make sure she's aware that we aren't sure what's going to result. But
you can try like a perception awareness, or somebody else might try, I don't know, that empathic sense.
I will go for the empathic sense because it's much better than my perception.
That's all I, because I have it, I believe. Oh, I get a tick.
$17 on awareness.
24 on empathic sense.
Let's see if I can beat that.
Yeah.
Probably. $29.
Ooh,
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I got 17 on the D10. A 7.
Nice.
As did I. I got a
On the
17 on my
D8.
D10 as well.
A 7 on my D8 and a 5 on my D6.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't have a D6. That's the difference.
so she seems nervous. And that nervousness is kind of all over the place. August, you realize that she's agreed and she's actually not against the idea, but there's definitely a lot of parental influence on this. But it's one of those, it's not like she's fighting them, no. She's like, this could be good for me. And then her parents have pushed that this would be good for everybody and that you should do this.
Is that unusual for the age? Weren't marriages more alliances and arranged, and the kids had to figure it out once they were wed? Or is that not the time?
No, it's totally not. It's totally normal for the parents to influence or even arrange marriages. Yes. However, that
wasn't
doesn't
as
mean that
prevalent.
everybody's okay with it.
This is just
So-
going a little far afield from the norm, but it's not outside the normal process.
No, and like I said, August, you're aware that she's not against it per se. She's just got a lot of influence and, let's be honest, pressure from the parents.
Are the parents in the room at the moment, or as well, or is it just us and the young lady?
They're sitting on either side of her.
Right. I'm not going to poke that particular bear whilst the parents are in the room.
Good idea.
So what are you guys doing?
How much of that do I get with my 24?
You get that most of it, she's nervous. There's a lot of conflicting stuff, but she doesn't seem against it to you.
Yeah.
The amount of peer pressure is more what August is getting. And again, Mac is correct in the fact that that's not unusual for the time period, especially for the position these guys are in.
Yeah.
Well, if no one else is going to step forward, Mac will step forward and take the young lady's hand and say, if this is truly what you want, we will see what arrangements are needed on the other side, and we'll inform you as soon as we have updates. But we really appreciate your stepping forward to give a young woman who lives currently in the house your family came from the opportunity for her love and happiness. And we really, truly hope that you find love and happiness on your own with this match as well. But we will proceed, but only since you are willing.
She seems very grateful. She seems a little more relaxed. They have some questions like, how much time do they have? What do they need to get done to facilitate this? Basically, what is it that they can actually do, and what is the time frame to be of assistance to making this work?
Well, I think our first priority is introducing them to the brownie. And then going from there, because unfortunately we don't know when the groom is turning up.
Yeah, the brownie, I think, is going to have to answer a lot of those questions.
Yeah.
So she wants to know if that means she gets to meet the brownie, or if you guys are going to talk to the brownie first.
I think we would talk to the brownie first, and then we'd bring you along for some introductions.
All right. So just so I don't forget, that's worth 100 AP for all of you. Because if you will remember, brownies are not to be seen by the actual people. So if she's the actual people, you're going to have to make it when you do introduce them that she doesn't see them. That she doesn't see Romeo. Does that make sense? So good job.
I mean,
Yeah.
how are we gonna facilitate this then? I mean, are we gonna use like passing in notes or something?
A blindfold.
Blindfold. Because they go around, and when people they'll go around when you're asleep. Have her facing away, even technically.
Yeah.
Have her spend the night there, so that there's all sorts of ways you can do it.
Yeah, there's
It's
a
just that
there's a children's tale about one of the family members playing behind a screen or I think it was in like a garden, so it would have been like a line of bushes, and they talked with their brownie friend on the other side. So there's lots of precedence there in the lore.
Yeah.
Fair enough, I suppose.
I think a certain amount of then talking to the other family, the current resident family, to sort things out.
So do you guys need to brainstorm how you're going to do this, or just jumping right in? Because we can move to that if that's what you're ready for.
I think possibly going and asking the brownie how he thinks would be best to be introduced to the young lady. Because his opinion should matter on this.
And then you can hopefully save face. Or, it might feel like a saving face from having picked the wrong bride to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything from I think it was her great grandfather was the family that the brownie knew, and it was her great grandmother that the brownie was close to. Is that correct? What match other people's remembrance of the story so far?
Like the great grandmother had stories, but she never actually met the brownie either.
Yeah.
It
Well,
goes way back.
Does the family have a token of the great grandmothers that there was some good vibe happening between the brownie and the great grandmother, just something that would represent that she could bring with when we do the introductions, just to smooth out and connect to the history. The Fae do best, in my perspective, when the differences in time, there's an element of continuity.
Yeah, if they've got any keepsakes from that time with the family time period.
you basically get the answer that not really everything was sold off.
Yeah.
Pretty much, because if you think about it, in that time period, cloth was very valuable, especially good, fancy cloth. Jewelry, very valuable. Pretty much the furniture, everything was sold.
Yeah.
It may be on the other side from the bride's family that lives in the house, things that were purchased with the house and that have been
That's
left with them there.
possible.
If the bride's family is interested in smoothing things out.
Oh, wait. So wait, really quick. I want to make sure I understand the girl's blood or the great grandmother, because great grandmother's dead. Okay, I was like, are we grave robbing? Okay, sorry.
Personally, as Mac in character, the idea of giving this girl's blood to a fairy we just met does not sound like a good idea. If the blood can be in her when they're talking and he can recognize it or not, is my opinion.
Yeah. Sounds reasonable. Give it. Yeah, let him have a sniff of it and examine of it, but it's not handing it over. Yeah.
All right, so you're going to ask her for a drop of blood on basically somebody's kerchief. She's going to give you an odd look at the idea of, can I have a drop of your blood? But she totally will do it. She, like, oh, it must be part of the ceremony or something. Like, she doesn't know exactly why, but she's trusting that you guys know what you're doing. And she will be
Okay.
perfectly fine. Somebody's hat pin pokes her. If you guys don't have a hat pin, I'm sure Mrs. Price has a hat pin.
Somebody has
I
that.
was gonna say River.
If Morgana will have a hat pin, definitely. It's
Well, that's why I said a hat pin. A hat pin would probably be rather than a knife.
Yeah.
River, does River wear fancy hats? I didn't think she did. She
No,
doesn't seem like a
but
fancy hat person.
she carries a hunting knife and
Don't bring out a hunting knife. You're gonna scare the poor lady. Really? Hat
On the
pin
other
is much
hand,
less scary than here is my machete. Give me your finger.
and Morgana deeply wears fancy hats and hat pins, so we'll use one of hers.
All right, so you guys get a drop or two of blood on a handkerchief and have it in hand, and then head over to politely knock on a brownie's door.
I think that is the plan.
You guys catch your little steam cab, get driven out there, and you are now, I'm sure you hello, dear family, butler, tell them that we are here and that we're going out in the backyard to do stuff.
Yeah.
And they're perfectly happy to see all of you and perfectly happy in the few days. And you're kind of almost surprised at how much they've gotten done from your plans. But like, they jumped right on this. Don't fuck up our wedding. We will appease you. And
Yeah.
so it has been, this is a wait, we just have to make all this stuff and the brownie will be happy. Boom. I can throw money at that.
Marvelous.
So you are now there with the handkerchief. Well, who's doing what?
Well, Max the brownie talking to expert.
Oh, fine. I do. I don't recall his name. How did he introduce himself or describe himself?
This he gave you that you could use with Broomy.
Broomy. That's right. Okay.
Broomio.
Grumio.
Yeah, I will.
Grumio the brownie.
Does anybody know what Grumio, the name Grumio, is from? Because it's totally from something. Just curious if anybody knew. It's a British show.
William Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew. He's the servant.
Is it from that too? I'd have to remember. There's a British show called Plebes, which if you haven't seen,
yeah.
it's utterly hilarious. And there is a slave in there who is like the worst slave ever. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't listen. It's hilarious.
And he's also the slave from the Cambridge Latin course, which is the standard Latin text used in British schools that still teach Latin.
There you go. So, but yes, it is an old name.
Other characters of which have appeared in the Doctor Who episodes where they went to Pompeii. They used the name from that as well. Caecilius and Melissa, who is Ancilla, which is a slave girl.
100 XP for Drew and
Yay, Shakespeare knowledge. Cool.
Shakespeare, Latin, crazy knowledge. All right, so Drew, you are there.
Right. I am going.
Ancilla.
Mac goes to the kitchen at the house and gets a little bit of cream in a dish, and then he gets a little glass with some brandy, and then he gets a little dish of salt, and then he goes out very slowly and carefully to the garden, just making observations about how wonderful the home has been kept. Everything's is lovely. The energy of the wedding is coming, and the musicians looking forward to listening to the musicians as he walks through the garden toward the place where the brownies entrance to the brownies Fey Mound is. When he gets there, he sits down quietly and puts a little piece of cloth down by the mound, and then sets the dishes, the salt for the earth, the brandy for celebration, and the milk that's beloved of the brownies in thanks for all of their hard work. And he asks if Grumio would like to talk.
Follow at a reserved distance.
Okay. So it's a few moments. All of a sudden, the head pops out, which again is too large for the hole, but okay. Fair weird. And there's Grumio, and he looks at the cream and the brandy, and he kind of half crawls out. So now you have half of a brownie, but don't go about his waist.
I will serve the brownie by moving things closer so it's within easy reach, and I will smile and say, "Oh, it's so good to see you."
He smiles back and basically says something along the lines of, "I wasn't expecting you. I don't have a present. I appreciate your present. Thank you very much."
Well, it's a wonderful time of celebration. We have some news for you, which is we have found the family of the land who lived here for so many generations before economic circumstances forced them to move away. And they have a daughter of eligible age who has become troll, much like the young lady of this house who's not from the family of the land. We were hopeful that you could meet her because your family and hers were tied together for so long. The family still tells the story of you and your clan and how you are remembered with gratitude. In particular, the lady's great-grandmother. I don't remember the name, but I'll include that in the role play. And bring back memories and stories of how the great-grandmother was so appreciative of everything the brownies did. And this is her great-granddaughter. Time has passed, but this young troll woman is of the blood of this land.
So while you've been talking, he's been drinking the cream and sipping at the brandy, and he just has this kind of wide-eyed look of, I could have made a mistake. This is never good. This is not good at all. Oh dear.
Mac's tone is very reassuring, and everything is all lined up to get it corrected without ever casting blame. And I'm also, in word choice, trying to give the message very subtly. I would never criticize the Fae when accidents happen, which is they are agents of chaos, and it does. Everything is lined up for things to be corrected before the prince finds out.
She's not prepared. It
Can,
takes a lot of
you
work to prepare.
I'm as he brings that up, I'll just say the young lady is willing, and we can bring her if and make sure that she doesn't see you, but she's available for the preparation. And is there anything that we can do that will help you to get the preparations done in time so that none of this ever really needs to come out?
Are you sure it's the right girl?
I have a token with her drop of her blood on it that you can check and verify for yourself. Would you like it? We will need it back, but we are welcome to check it.
Please.
I then set in the fourth spot, because I arranged these in a triangle, I make a diamond. And the fourth point is the kerchief with the drop of blood. And I set it down and wait for the brownie to investigate it.
So he slowly picks it up and he sniffs at it, almost like a dog. He literally sniffs at it. And then he darts his tongue out quickly and tastes it and lays it back down. And he has this very concerned look on his face. I think I made a mistake. Oh my.
What can we do to help?
You can bring the girl here.
Certainly, if you will please excuse me for a moment, I will go and get her. Where would you like her to be so that the family of the land does not actually see you, but you can do what you need to do to get this all smoothed out? Where's a good place for that for you?
So he points to some bushes and basically wants you to put her behind the bushes facing away. That way
Uh-huh.
he could be like in the bushes and possibly on towards her back.
Okay. Okay,
And tell
gotcha.
her not to turn around.
Right.
No
No
matter what, she shouldn't turn around.
Yeah, understood. All right, so I've got those instructions, and I will bow to the brownie again. Very reassuring in tone. Mac is a very steady kind of troll, and clean up the gifts after he's enjoyed them, and then leave the little area by the mound, go back to the party, get the girl, and then do things like move a chair so it's facing away, a little tea table, a snack, make it so she's comfortable. She can just enjoy sitting in the gardens, basically. And telling her, explaining to her to the girl.
I think we need to let the people that own the house know,
The
hey, we're
house,
gonna bring
no.
this girl over
Yeah.
to deal with this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you. I'm just laying out what my stream of consciousness is on this reaction. I'd like to set it up so that she can sit with her back to the brownie as instructed, have a little tea and snack, and then tell her that her first test when being introduced to the Fae is to obey the rules of their magic. And the first rule is that she must sit with her back to where the brownies live and not notice them, no matter what distractions come up, no matter what tests of fate come through, no matter what birds fly by or anything else. Her test is to listen to the rule, keep herself faced away, and enjoy her tea despite what may be happening with any distractions. It's like a fairy tale. And so that's the tone for the scene I'd like to set up, and then let's follow the proper etiquette to get something like that set up to go. Does that make
Morgana
sense
will,
to everybody?
yeah. And
How do
Morgana
you know
will
so
go and
much about
talk.
Faye anyway?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How do you know so much about Faye anyway?
Gran.
In theory, Gran.
He listened to his grandparents.
How did they know so much about Faye?
Not a lot to do in Scottish winters.
Isn't part of that question why is he think he's a Fomerian?
He's just from a very superstitious family.
A very superstitious and apparently incredibly accurate family.
Or the Fae just like people doing fancy ritual and sounding about right.
I think the Isle of Skye knows a thing or two about the Fae.
All right.
Or so my
who's
role
talking-
will be.
Sorry, I was going to say, who's talking to the family?
Morgana will go and explain what we're going to do to the resident family. Because I also fancy if we're going to bring a girl along to save their daughter from the marriage she doesn't want, they should probably do her least. They'll at least want to meet her.
They would like to meet her.
Yep.
But quite frankly, they're so happy that things are not going to go poorly that
Yep.
they get the feeling they'd probably agree to anything you come up with.
Yeah, Morgana will organise the matter, talk to them, and sort out the appropriate etiquette of this sort of thing, and just make sure everything is smoothed over. Get them to get them to sort out Mac setting up his little tableau, as it were, and then we can go and fetch the girl, bring her into the house, and introduce her and such. If that has required, Morgana may also start looking into commissioning some a proper wardrobe for the young lady she's marrying up in the world. She needs to go in clothing of her own rather than purely relying on her husband. Who knows what the Prince of the Wild Hunt will dress his wife in?
Give yourself an extra 100 XP for that. Because when you go to get her, she's been working on the barge since you guys last saw her, because they got to make money.
Yep.
And she's going to look at you and be like, I'm going to meet a Fae. And she has this kind of look of dread as she kind of looks at herself.
Morgana
Like,
will
if it's
smile.
bad enough going to your guys' fancy office, now she's going to meet a Fae looking like a barge woman.
Morgana will smile. Do not worry. First, before we go to the meeting, we're going to get you properly cleaned and properly dressed up for it, so you can feel comfortable and confident in yourself for doing this.
So the question is, Morgana, are we going with your fashion sense or reverse fashion sense?
Given we are both young, slim, elven women, I suspect we go with whatever my seamstress suggests for a troll lady of decent character to be dressed in, because neither of our clothes are going to fit her at all.
Well, yeah, but go for looking like a hunter or looking like a lady.
I think looking like a lady, because she's going to be a lady. She can have some hunting outfits as well.
Mac will clear his throat. I would not dress her for her past. I'd dress her to toward her future. And the key thing of the Fomorans and the trolls is we embody the bones of the mountain. We touch the sky, the clarity of the snows, and the honor.
Why not let her decide how she wants to look?
Exactly what I was about to say. I don't care what the Fae have to say. This is the 1880s. Young ladies can dress how they damn well please. So we can get a dress she wants to meet her future husband in.
Makes sense.
And he has to learn that his wife has her own mind. So Morgana will take her and get her, a little bit of pampering and cleaning up and properly dressed in something that she wants.
So clean up, hairdo. I mean, she's enjoying manicure. It
Promise
doesn't have to be.
her. Yeah,
I mean,
no,
she doesn't have to have like nails like mine, but cleaned up, pampered a little bit.
Yeah, cleaned up, pampered a bit, and a promise that we will organise her a more proper, a set of outfits to properly equip her for her future life.
She's a troll, so polish the horns.
Polish the horns. That's not a bad suggestion. They're even, just for flavor, suggesting some where they basically kind of put holes in the horn and add jewelry to it, if you're willing to pay.
No.
Sorry, what? Hello?
All right,
Hello?
sorry. Betsy had moved on the couch and I accidentally squished her head.
Oh,
So she's mad at me. She's okay. Sorry. So Mac was saying no to horn jewelry.
Why? What's the matter?
I don't know what the conflict was.
I don't know either.
Mac is saying no to the horn jewelry because purist.
Drilling holes in the horns? No. Oh, you don't do that to a troll. No.
I mean, I think that's
Okay,
that's just
I
like
think the question
your
that everyone has
opinion,
is
man.
why? Why do you think that? Would you think not? Horns are a lot like nails. It's not going to hurt. So I think the curiosity is what you have against it.
Mac is just going to look very and just I'll go guard the outside of the door.
I mean, I think this is a personal preference thing, honestly.
she wishes to. They're her homes.
Personally, I feel like the horns are one of the most distinctive elements of pride in the people, and they may be polished and all of that. That's fine, but drilling into them.
I mean, again, that's just like your opinion, man.
Well, and remember,
It is.
remember, this is not Earth Dawn. Trolls don't have an established culture of their own yet.
Yes, I've been an elf all of about 3 years now.
Okay. My personal take on this is that most people try to enhance what they think is their best quality. So, like, if you think you have really good eyes, you focus on eye makeup. If you think your lips are good, you focus on the lipstick. Tribally, culturally, like the neckbands make the neck higher and more elongated. Like, people put jewelry and shiny things on stuff that they want you to notice. So I would not see culturally, because this is, again, not Earth Dawn, and they don't have the old culture to go by, that I could totally see them taking a point of pride and look at my my horns. I want you to notice them.
I don't object to any of that or disagree with any of that. Where I did my yip was at drilling into the horns. However, I'm not going to beat that to death. I made my instinctive and I'm moving to the other room.
Okay. So my take is that Morgana is totally willing to pay for some shinies if she wants some shinies.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna roll it. Call high or low, Morgana.
Hi.
High it is. She wants shinies.
And shiny she gets.
As far as the outfit, she kind of lets your seamstress decide because, quite frankly, she's never really gotten to kind of pick clothing, and she's not sure what would be pretty on her. So
Yeah.
the seamstress is totally, I could do this and I can do that, and we can make this look this way. It's the I'm going to enhance the waist by making the this bigger and that smaller and bubble.
Yep.
She picks
So,
pretty flattering colors. She basically ends up with about 3 outfits. Okay, with Morgana.
yeah, Morgana. Yeah, and
And
Morgana will
it's fine.
commission a couple more because she's probably going to need outfits for hunting and that sort of thing. But this is an
So
initial meeting of the thing.
okay.
So if we can get one outfit away and
So
a
the
handful
one
more on
outfit,
commission.
there is no way they can get that outfit done today. It'll have to be tomorrow afternoon
Right.
before it'll have it done. But they will make it because you're going to pay out the ass. But they will make it be, this is what we're doing today. Put everything else aside. Otherwise, they've come up with a couple of creative things. Like I think the one picture of Morgana shows her with like the pants, but it has like the outer backside of a skirt.
Yes. Yeah.
So something like that where it's kind of the best of both worlds. They're designing a hunting outfit, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And making sure the young lady's likes the look of them, even if she's not 100% sure, because this is not what she's used to doing. Morgana will be
your
passing her
seamstress
around, thinking that'll look good. So what's that? Sorry.
I was going to say your seamstress has worked with troll ladies before,
Yeah.
so she it's the whole point of going to a seamstress. It's like you go to the
Yep.
hairdresser and you say, "Make it look nice." Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
But she's never been pampered like this, and she's really enjoying it. You also get a sense of she probably doesn't have a whole lot of friends all that often
Yeah.
because she has to work and then she's tired. So
Yeah.
kind of like girls' day out, spa day type of thing. She's never had, and she's
Yeah.
really enjoying it. And I will also say, River makes her feel more comfortable because River's
That
not.
bodes well.
I mean, not that Mac doesn't make her feel comfortable, but for the girlier parts, I think River makes her feel a lot more comfortable because River is not as high class, and she probably feels like River won't judge her for not knowing the correct term and all that fancy stuff.
And Morgana is being
Not that Morgana would pick on her, but
no. Morgana is slightly slightly resisting the urge to sing songs from Wicked on behalf of Morgana at this point. But Morgana will be enjoying the process of helping her, but in a very it's being friendly, helpful person helping someone rather than patronizing and smug about it. Though obviously, if she can drag if she can drag River along, and it could be all the girls getting a little bit of pampered, so that the young lady feels less self-conscious about it, because that'll help.
Yeah, River will
it'll-
go along, and she'll even leave all of her weapons behind.
I wasn't even going to ask that, but that's perfectly reasonable. But yes, just get involved, be part of it, so so she's not feeling, among other things, so our young lady is not feeling like everybody in the room is watching her have stuff done to her, done to them, because that will also help her more comfortable. But if River is along to be a more touchstone to a level in the world she understands, also good. And then once we have her up, get Mac to go and run a message that she will be, she wishes to be properly prepared for her first meeting before the brownie prepares her, so that, he's not expecting her that very day. Which gives Max something to do, so he doesn't have to see someone having having dangly sparkly things added to their horns, which he appears to be squeamish about.
Okay. Spa day's done. Dress will be done next afternoon.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Unless there's something.
I was
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
say something while they were out having their girls' day and
Oh, okay.
doing preparatory stuff, because I don't think I really have a lot to contribute to that interaction. But yeah,
Probably not.
I was going to try and go find a spot where I don't suppose like a gun range, but somewhere safe where I could go and test out the gun and see what happens with the thing when it's shot.
That's a good idea.
I-
You go by
I just-
yourself?
Well, I was going to say, Weymont, you want to come along? I don't know how much you'll have with the other interaction.
I
It
mean,
would help.
sure.
It would help to have somebody else who can see astrally to help observe.
Yeah, no problem. Fine.
All right. You find a nice clear spot, nobody around. You know what's behind it. For all purposes, it is currently being used as a shooting range. You're practicing all the safety rules. You bring it out. What are you using as a target?
Is this somewhere like in the city? Like if we could just find like trash strewn about, or if not, that I could find. So I don't know,
Sorry.
something else.
Nikki came in the house and Miss Prego, who is very anxious about anything that moves, was very loud. So what are you finding the target as?
I was saying, if
Target
this is
shoot?
somewhere like in the city, I'm sure we could find some sort of trash strewn about or something like that.
It's whatever you want. I just want to know what the item is. It can be a piece of trash, just what type of trash.
Well, definitely not anything that's going to really do much of a ricochet. So I don't want to find like a rock.
Yeah, no, shooting rocks is actually not your best plan.
Yeah,
That's a general rule.
Yeah, no, so definitely not that. I don't know. Is it just whatever we can possibly come across? I don't know if we can find an old empty can or.
Sure. Easy enough. Yeah. So you have some cans and you shoot it. It doesn't really feel any different when you shoot it. I'm going to make a suggestion that I probably shouldn't make, but let's just start with this. Weymont, what are you doing while he's shooting?
I'll be watching. Astrally.
There you go. Roll your astral for me.
Sure. Where is my astral sight spell? Skill 2d10. Right. Dig out a couple of d10s from this pile of dice. Give me a second. Ah, there we go. I got 13.
13. So you see the bullet, and as it comes out, astrally speaking, it has almost like a crackle of greenish energy. And when it hits the can, the energy kind of disperses. Give me a magic theory roll, please.
Magic theory. I'm a bit better at that. Hang on. Magic theory. 2d10 again. No, I'm exactly as good at that.
Well, but that's good. It means you're good at it.
I'm going to throw some karma on this, I think.
Okay. Come here, little baby maker. I'm sorry.
22.
22. So definitely something magic is happening with the projectile, with whatever came out of the gun.
Okay.
Your thinking is that it's hard to tell what it is because that's an inanimate object. You have a feeling that the effect really doesn't work on inanimate objects. It only works on living things. You think that whatever it is going to make this a more powerful hit, i.e., out of character. It's going to do more damage, but you're not totally sure what type of damage. And without it hitting something living, you're not totally sure you can figure it out. You could ponder it and see if you can come up with a better idea. Or you could suggest something like go rabbit hunting and see what happens.
I will.
But-
I will tap Nigel on the shoulder. Nigel, I don't think that's going to do anything. It seems like whatever magic is on it is only affecting living things.
Interesting. Okay. Is there like a rat or a rabbit or something like that around?
Not here, but we could go rabbit hunting. If you like, we'd have to go out of town, I suppose.
Actually, there's a lot of wild animals, squirrels, rats, things like that, alley cats, and you happen to have a bird that will probably eat whatever you kill. So
I
it's
was
not
about
like
to
you're
say,
being
yeah, I've got.
completely wasteful.
Yeah, Hedron, can you find something to scare up?
Yeah, if you give it a little bit of time so that the things that ran away at the noise come back, you won't have any trouble. I'm just assuming you're at one of like the larger parks at a time where it's not very busy.
Yeah, as long as you're just somewhere where people aren't going to be concerned about a gun being shot.
In this time period, it does happen that guns were valid, so it's not that big of a thing.
Yeah,
But yeah, if you give it a little bit of time, which you have, make your to hit to see if you can hit the rabbit.
All right. Fortunately, I actually did pick up firearms last time I ranked up. Hang on, that one landed cocked. That's a 7.
It's a rabbit. You were patient. I give you bonuses for being patient. You hit the rabbit. Weymont, are you watching astrally?
Yes, I should do because obviously we want to see what this does.
That's what I figured. So when you hit the rabbit, Brad, the rabbit is very dead because it doesn't have enough hit points, and I'm not even going to make you roll unless you want to for damage.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
It's not really point wise, but you feel better. You didn't even feel all that bad to begin with, but you just somehow feel better. Weymont, roll your astral again and see how well you can watch things.
All right. Crap, dropped the die. Okay, that's like 3 roll-ups on the D10. Hang on.
Oh, dear
Right.
goodness.
39.
You saw everything.
I saw all of the things.
So what's the number?
39.
39. Okay, 39. So you see that crackle. On impact with the rabbit, you see kind of a jolt, and it's very fast. And quite frankly, you probably would have missed it if you weren't watching so closely. You see like a jolt that goes back towards Brad. And at first, you're probably very concerned about this. But also because you are so observant, something else happened, but you're not quite sure what. And you don't know that it actually worked on the rabbit. Much like on the can, it just kind of fizzled. There was something else going on that didn't seem to do what it might do.
Are we saying that
But
this thing only affects living sentient things or something like that?
No. You
No,
don't
'cause I
think that.
felt an
Roll your magic
effect.
theory. Roll your magic theory, because that's what you saw. Now let's talk about what you think it means.
Can I roll a magic theory as well from my observations?
If he tells you his, yes.
I got an 11 on magic theory.
Okay. I'm going to assume you tell Brad what you saw.
Right.
Brad, by the way, I'm going to give you a 2-step bonus on this.
Oh, okay,
You'll figure it out if you get the number.
Let me adjust then.
As far as Weymont with your 11, you're not that's what you have.
What? Nothing from an 11?
On the 11, you think that there's some sort of okay, I'll give you this. You think there's some sort of vampiric kind of health transfer that happens with the shop, which is why he felt
makes
better.
sense.
And there's a back thing. But as the what part fizzled, no, you got nothing.
I got a 17.
17. With the interest of your bird in it, you think that maybe it's not that it has to be a living sentient thing because it seems to have worked on the health transfer. The reason you felt better, you didn't have any health points that you needed. You're not low on HP, right?
Right.
You think it might affect Fae differently or with some added bonus to Fae specifically.
Oh. You think
And
this
thus
might be a Fae killer gun?
You don't know. You don't know what it does. I'm just saying that with the interest, because the gun itself may have been touched by the Fae and there may be magic, but there's nothing necessarily that is Fae, and you know it's a Fae hunter. So what if whatever Fae thing it does is why your bird is interested in it? And that is your theory.
I mean, that's fair. Isn't it?
Yeah, very interesting. Well, hopefully we don't have to get into another shootout with a Fae. We did that once and it wasn't fun.
I mean, if they can sense magic, I would more worry about just having this weapon on you if we ever interact with them.
Well, frankly, I've got my familiar with me, so they're already pretty nervous about him.
That's true, but having a weapon that's actually designed magically to kill them is probably a bit more worrying.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily the effect, because it was given to us by the Fae.
True.
But either way, there definitely was some sort of health effect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely, yes.
But that part's very, very set in stone. All right. August. So part of the problem with researching anything like the Lord of the Wild Hunt is that you're basically going through fairy tales. You're going through tall tales, old stories. You don't know that you necessarily agree with everything that Max Grand told him, but it does take human wives. It's not uncommon. And once they become wives through weird Fae magic, it seems like they become Fae.
Okay.
At least that's the going theory because they go to the other side and you never see them again. At the same time, he has to get a new wife. And as far as you understand things, Fae don't necessarily, like, maybe they die. You're not really sure, do they age or not? So you're just not totally sure. Let's see, general other information, because you got a good roll on it. Yeah. So what type of things are you looking for? And I'll see if I can help answer them.
Just what sort of things that she's likely to encounter. So, you know, what sort of things to expect about him, the situation, you know,
she
that
will
sort
be
of...
expected. She would be expected as a wife to bear children. That part's actually fairly true. Whether or not he kills them if they don't, it's convoluted fairy tale land.
Yep.
He could just dismiss her and put her back in the real world. However, none of the wives ever come back home. That doesn't necessarily mean that they died or that they died unnaturally. The Fae again are wibbly wobbly. They could have brought them back home, and they ended up in another continent, like Fae.
Or, you know, they're 300 years from now.
Yeah.
Or 300 years from
Another
now, so the
time.
family never
Yeah.
started. Right.
Or she's her own great grandma.
Or worse, they're their own great. I hope not. But it's England, and hey, could be. The other thing that is very much at point is she would be expected to hunt. So, and that's something that like the lady who's there currently would probably know how to like fox hunt or something, because a lot of times women did do things like that, right? So not uncommon for a lady to be involved in like a fox hunt or something like that and have some knowledge. Working on a barge every day does not lead to hunting skills.
Right.
As far as like etiquette things, there's not a whole lot. You also know that as in this, because you got the 19, I'm gonna give you the Lord of the Hunt, and we kind of touched on this a little bit before. He crosses over whether it's good fae, bad fae, quote unquote, whether it's the I call it again the night ones, which are sort of like fae monsters, but that's a class of fae.
The sleuth.
And when they use the term monster, it's mostly that they're sorry.
Slewer.
Yeah. It's not necessarily that they're good or bad; it's that they look like monsters, right?
Yeah.
But the Lord of the Hunt crosses all the lines. It's kind of like being the police for the Fae, if that makes any sense. So, to a certain degree, because his job is to track down basically Fae that have gone and done stuff against the rules and things like that, you're gonna probably more of a rules monger than any other Fae. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which means if you can get him to make an agreement, he'll keep the agreement. Does that help?
Yeah.
I just thought that was the way things were for like basically all Fae, everywhere, all the time.
It is. However, the tricksiness of Fae means that the wording has to be very, very careful. With this, you could probably be more straightforward and not have the loophole issues that you have with other Fae. Because technically that's where Fae live. They live in the loopholes. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah.
This one, if you were straightforward, you feel like he wouldn't necessarily look for the loopholes as hard. If that, it's more of a no nonsense Fae.
No shenanigans.
Yeah. This is not he's not a trickster. Which a lot of Fae are very much a trickster. They're looking for you to use the wrong word, or they're looking for a loophole. Whereas the Lord of the Hunt is not a trickster. He's a pretty straight shooter from what you can tell. But that leads to a certain amount of harshness. Like he does not put up with breaking of the rules or with breaking your promises. Like he doesn't like it if you try to use loopholes against him.
Makes sense.
Joel,
right.
you're muted.
Give Joel a minute. Yes, Joel?
I presume that means he's more likely to stick to the spirit of an agreement rather than being finicky about the exact letter.
Yes.
Which is the traditional issue with Fae.
Yeah. All right.
But
Anybody
I expect
else?
the same of everyone else.
Yes, very much so.
Excellent.
And anybody else doing anything?
As said in the thing, I during the time we're being pampered, I will take the time to talk to our young troll lady. And I got a 45 on the conversation roll. And I took a picture of the dice.
Which troll lady?
The troll barge lady, because I don't think we've got a name for her.
I thought we had a name for her. It was like Mary Margaret or something.
Mary yeah, that's it. Yes, I remember it now. That's fine. I will make a note.
Got a name for her? We have two, in fact.
Yes.
Don't boast about too much. Somebody might see that it's greedy.
Actually, it's just very common in Catholic families. I knew
Just
one
lucky this.
Catholic family that had 5 daughters, and they were all Mary something. They never used Mary when they called the kids, but it was like Mary Margaret, Mary Francis, Mary, like they were all Mary something. So apparently, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, that is totally a common thing to do in Catholic families.
Totally Catholic family thing, and quite common in normal families. You'd have quite a lot of kids given the same name because you're not expecting all of them to turn up to adulthood, and sometimes you did, and you have 3 brothers, or you'd end up with 3 young men in the family all happen to be called John.
Yeah, it's why
Because
or,
you weren't expecting one of them to reach adulthood, and oh look, they all did, and it gets confused. And you get a
Right.
lot of name reusing. And it's true for Morgana and pretty much everybody who is a member of young ladies aristocracy at this point. Having Victoria as a middle name is incredibly common.
Yeah, because of the
For
Queen.
some reason.
Well, I mean, it was to curry favor. We named our daughter after you. Like, it's that shit.
There's lots of princesses across Europe whose actual first name is Victoria, who are known as Princess, their second name, to separate them, because otherwise it gets confusing. I may have been researching royal families. But one of Morgana's middle names is indeed.
So, since 45 on conversation.
45, yeah. All 3 of my dice maxed.
Yes, she is. Yes, she's feeling pressure from the parents. But there's a certain amount of duty going on with this. Like, if it helps my family, it is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Is she nervous about it? What if he rejects her? What if he doesn't like her? What if she can't do what he wants? But most of that's actually, I would say, very very normal.
Yeah.
And not, I mean, this is basically an arranged marriage to someone she's never met, who is much higher class born, however you want to look at, than what she's just very nervous. And part of her has that, maybe I should have cold feet. What am I doing? And part of her's like, but if this helps the family, da 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 da.
Morgana will assure her that if at any point she decides actually this is the wrong decision for her, until she's sworn any wedding vows, she can always change her mind. But also assure her, because while Morgana is distinctly and vehemently avoiding the whole family arranged marriage side of things, she was sort of raised to expect it. So we'll be counseling her on it and making sure that it is okay. It's remarkably normal for this sort of thing.
Whereas Morgana expects her mom to bring home, this is what I want you to marry. And she has been pushing for you to be quote unquote ready. Because it's your mother. Mary Margaret was not
right, yes. Yeah.
They expected her to find a nice guy who will help with the family business. Or that she'll be helping him with his family business. Like, in all truth, at this point, they're expecting someone to help move barges, or her to help somebody else move barges. But that's what that is. Because who else is she going to meet but, people on the docks? So maybe a dock worker, like. But she's not a no. She's just, there's a lot. Like, this is like most things, most personal things. There's 18 different things. What do they call it? The iceberg? You get that little bit at the top, but there's so many other things that are below it.
No, it's.
So, August is getting you information and then about what he's found out that he's very sure she should know.
Yeah.
And you guys can discuss how that's going to happen.
Well, I'm sure River will be happy to teach her anything she may need to know about hunting.
There's more incoming as well. I hit return first.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, if you don't talk about it that day, you have the next morning to talk about it before you pick up her in her dress.
Yeah.
And once you get her in her dress, it is transforming. And part of that transformation isn't the clothes and the jewelry and all of that. It's that delicate blossom of maybe I'm not hideous, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it creates a little bit of glow. It's the look at me in my pretty dress. Oh my gosh. You guys watch Firefly Trinity?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember when she gets the silly peach dress with all the ruffles? That's hideous, but she's so happy.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look like a grease monkey mechanic. It's that. That I think
Yeah.
gives you a good representation of what it is. And with that comes a little bit of confidence. Like, I can go meet Grumio. I can do this.
Yeah, the whole, there is some truth in the whole nerd girl gets a makeover and is suddenly glamorous, because dressing right and doing these things can give you the confidence, which does make a huge change. But
it does. And a lot of times, and girls' clothing is so much harder than boy clothing. And finding stuff that's flattering for different figures. It's the great
Yeah.
thing about having the wealth to go to like a seamstress who will be like, I can make you beautiful.
Yeah.
I can flatter you. So
You see lots of things where people go, oh, how come people were much more elegant in those days? Because every piece of clothing, even the poor people's clothing, was actually made for them and fitted for them.
and most
And made to
pictures
do
are
that.
of higher class families where it's not just fitted exactly for them, but it's also the better cloth. So
Cloth, yeah.
yeah, if we had the money where everything was handmade, designed specifically for our figures, our looks, we would all look dapper. Most of us are walking into a Walmart and buying something off the shelf. Less
Yeah.
dapper.
And I'm given to understand a lot of the secret of sort of TV makeover shows is they'll tailor a lot of the clothes. They'll buy it. It might be bought off the shelves, but it will be tailored.
Well, but it's
for the
also that they
recipient, which
have an eye
helps.
for fashion. Like
That too, yeah.
I have a friend, and she's not. She doesn't really have any hips. She doesn't have a lot of breasts. She's a very, almost guy figure. But there are things that can be done with certain types of bras that will help make her look more there. There's things you can do to like put flares at the hip that, even though she doesn't have a lot of hip, will make it look like she does. Does that make sense? You
Yeah.
can bring the shoulders out more so that the waist looks smaller. There's tricks.
Yes,
I
there
don't
are.
know all of them.
We have a friend who can basically put a corset on a guy and give him a shelf.
An hourglass and a shelf.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a shelf, yeah.
So,
And this is a skinny guy, not me.
but you get the gist. Like, this is someone who is trained and knows exactly what's in style, how it looks, and how it works, versus most of us who, again, well, I had PJ pants on. I don't know about you people, but I put PJ pants on for this. So, hey, you're welcome.
Thank you for putting pants on.
You should thank me. Usually I don't actually. If I don't have to leave the house, I don't wear pants. So there.
You live miles from anywhere. You can wear as little as you want. But thank you for putting pants on. I mean that.
Well, thanks.
My pajama pants are my work uniform.
I put pants on for Joel, but that'll make the other young lady in the room happy that I'm putting pants on for Joel, not taking pants off for Joel.
Mhm.
See, works for everybody. All right, so she is pampered and primmed and got some some more self-confidence about herself, and is feeling like she is ready for this. What do I need to know?
I presume we will brief her off August's notes.
I say if we have a week and a half before the wedding
You guys
now.
are in July.
The key next step, as I understood it, is to get her so that she's comfortable going through the preparation the brownie needs to do.
Yeah.
I think the immediate prep is prepping her to be with near Grumio and the whole "don't look, doesn't matter what it is, don't look" type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think the second part of that is teaching her, like River teaching her some hunting stuff. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
And getting her used to the idea that there is every strong chance that she will never actually see her family again. That doesn't mean her family won't get help and won't improve from this,
Yeah.
but that she will probably never. And that could be a thing.
How common
Morgana-
was it for brides to be married like out of the country or immigrate to the colonies, or was that is that just part of the culture of this time?
It's possible with upperborn, but it's actually not common to think that they're going to leave the country. I mean, let's be honest, Australia was founded by criminals, and they didn't necessarily take their wives with them because they were put on a ship and sent out, right? And you may or may not ever be able to afford your wife to go to Australia. The US is a bunch of debtors. I mean, let's be honest, it's religious fanatics and debtors. That's who was sent to the US. So unless you married a religious fanatic or they fell on horribly hard times, most people married somebody in the country of England and therefore could see their family again. They might not see them every week or every day, but it wouldn't be uncommon to spend holidays with them and things like that. And I can be corrected by anybody who knows better than me.
I think it did happen, but it certainly, I suspect it's slightly more of a middle class thing with somebody getting married and then going off to start a new life, particularly in British colonial areas. But also, we're in the age of steamships, so the coming back and visiting the family at home is more common these days. Which I may be wrong on, but I think it's not sort of sailing off and never being seen again. It's taking a steamship which takes a week to cross the Atlantic, if that, or a couple of weeks to get to India, and then a couple of weeks back. So the idea of people would visit, but people do leave for foreign parts. But I don't think it's
But
I
either
think
way,
slightly earlier time.
it's probably going to be something of a much higher echelon than what she would be used to.
Yeah, lower class. Yeah, somebody of the class her family's descended to get married in their neighborhood
And stay nearby. So
and stay nearby in all likelihood, because the extended
her,
families. Yeah.
I was for her expectation would not be to never see her family again. So that may be so. August, are you breaking this news to her, or is somebody else?
Given that Morgana's the one that seems to have the really good rapport with her, I would hope Morgana would break that news.
Yeah,
to
Morgana,
her.
would that be diplomacy?
I would say diplomacy would be a good way to break bad news. So yeah.
A 17.
Okay. So she took it fairly well, especially on that you're expected to make babies. Okay, she kind of figured that that's a normal white thing. She doesn't know how to hunt, but you guys, I'm pretty sure, clued her in on the River does, and River would be happy to help you, right?
I
To
presume
never
she
see her
possibly
family
knows.
again. That's a hard pill. And she basically is like, but they will have a better life if I do it right. So it's not like I'm never going to see them and their life gets worse because I won't be there to help.
Yes. Actually, Morgana will also check as an aside on the hunting front. She lives on the docks and works in a barge. Does she know how to fish?
Yes.
Oh, that's a start. It's a form of, Glances to Roy's River for confirmation. It's a form of hunting, right?
No, it's a form of trapping.
Well, I'll take your word for it. I never had a lot of time for the hunts of any sort, or fishing.
Okay. So, but Rivers, well, no. So really, the only thing for her is that whole. But my family will get better because if they don't have me there to help,
Yeah.
that's gonna hurt. And if this doesn't help, then I've hurt them twice.
Yeah.
So that part makes me nervous.
Is that something that can be? I'm not there as a character for this conversation, but is that something that could be negotiated into the agreement? And then I would think also there's an angle there with those large families just putting food on the table, having one less mouth to feed is often a thing.
I was thinking similar thoughts. Possibly one. Morgana will be not mentioning this to her, but will be trying to see what she can do to help the family make sure they get more work because they're doing us a solid here. And two, we may be able to negotiate if there's an agreement. Part of her side, she's allowed to make demands in an agreement with her husband. Seeing her family once a year on an appropriate date, and him providing for them are all reasonable things to put in.
I don't know that I would agree with that. I think that the time difference that kills the mortals, the stories of the changelings who tried to come back, just never end well. It might be like just something like viewing through a mystic mirror. I'm just saying, like those who go to the Fey realms do not come back.
But a lot of those are because people don't ask the right questions and don't make the right requests about coming back at the right times. There's a lot of it saying, be careful what you wish for.
I would just caution you to make a commitment to something that may be related to the laws of physics between the two realms that's under nobody's control.
Again, we are making an awful lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
Like you have absolutely no idea what the physics between here and the Fey realms were. Have you ever been to a Fey realm? No.
No.
Okay.
Well, technically, yes, we were, but that doesn't mean we understand it.
I think when it comes to visiting Fey realms, Morgana has the most experience, having been in one and almost stepped into another.
Also, in fairness, when we were in the Fey realms, Mac's attempts to understanding the physics was trying to ram into the ceiling that he fell through.
In fairness, I just wanted to make sure you weren't making a commitment that it could not be fulfilled and breaking that.
No.
I mean, you could always ask.
The details are what they are.
We can always ask.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could ask. Be like, would this be feasible? Yes, no, maybe. The guy if we're saying that the Lord of the Wild Hunt is is kind of a rules guy, then asking questions about the rules is probably within his remit.
Yeah, and he's less likely to be vague about it than other Fae. And I believe Weymont is our official negotiator, right?
What?
You're a haggler.
I mean,
you also
sure.
have that friend who's
you mean the professor at the university?
That's the one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think pulling him in for this would be an idea, certainly.
I don't know that he would
at least
really...
so he
He'd just be doing research. He wouldn't know about making the deals with things.
Yeah, but he might want to make notes while we do it.
Yes,
at least that way we get preserved for prosperity when it goes terribly wrong.
Yes, it is worthwhile, right? Now I know that engineering and all that. You guys are off to one side, but it is worthwhile to document these things for future reference. Not just for us, but for everyone.
I think
so we're committing a public service as well.
Into it.
Yeah.
So before we wander into anything crazy, I will call the guy and say, hey, by the way, did you know we're about to meet with, like, Lord of the Wild Hunt?
It'll be so embarrassing when he doesn't turn up because nobody sent him an invite.
Because, you know, times being what they are, it's pretty crazy out here.
Okay, sorry, I got distracted by puppies. So who are you contacting? Who are you calling?
The professor at the university who's an expert, quote unquote, in Fae.
Oh, that is a very good thing to ask and do. So you're going to call him. What questions
Yes.
do you have of him? And I will see what he knows.
Well, it's not so much a question. It's more that, hey, by the way, did you know we're going to meet with the Lord of the Wild Hunt? Do you want
He
to
wants
come
to
and
be there.
document some
Like, he doesn't
things?
even let you finish. Yes, please, can I come?
Yeah.
You should tell him that you've met an actual brownie.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Tell him that
he would
too.
like to meet that too.
Yes.
Like,
Fine.
this is like handing a kid $100 bill in a candy store.
Exactly. Now, since you were distracted, what I was saying to Nigel was that it's worthwhile documenting these things, even if he knows nothing legitimate. He can still document it while he's there, so that future people who entangle with the Fae will have a little bit more knowledge about what's actually going on.
That's actually very, very true.
But I
Like,
think it
he's going
follows the
off
same
of,
rules, which, yeah, we don't know if
well,
that's
and
going to happen.
but it still helps to document that there is a actual Lord of the Hunt, that brownies do exist, that there are these types of rules. Like, it's, even if he doesn't actually know any of it yet, the only way that you learn is by somebody writing it and other people studying it. So
Exactly. And as a gentleman and a scholar, there is no way that I can let this opportunity pass for documentation.
oh yeah, no, like, you are his favorite human. And you're totally gonna let him meet
But he's
this
an elf, not a human.
Grumio. Yeah, you're his favorite entity. How about that? But you're gonna let him meet this Grumio brownie too, right? And he can be at the wedding, and you know he can
As
bring a
about the wedding,
photographer.
we'll see about that. But
Can he bring a photographer?
I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask if it's okay for photographs.
He is
I've
writing so fast and hard that you can hear the notes he's scribbling on paper through the phone. Or somehow magically are just hearing it. But you are like this, as he is writing furiously all of the 80,000 questions he has. And he rapid fires a ton of them at you. All of which you're like, I don't know, you'll have to ask.
Yes, basically. Like, listen, why don't you just come and meet with us and we'll sort things out from there?
When, where, how soon? Today,
Soon as
right?
you
Today?
can. Yeah, soon as you can.
Where am I meeting you? I will be happy to go anywhere.
I will give him the location of the estate that we're at.
He basically, I'm on my way. He literally has like handed the phone to somebody else and told them to hang it up. Like, he just like dropped it and is like grabbing paper and pens and leaving. Then
Okay.
realizes that he needs to actually order a steam coach. And
I'm just amused that
yeah.
these people are preparing for a wedding, and we just keep dragging all these people through their house.
On the plus side, he's not interested in the mortal wedding.
Yes, the
No,
mortal
he is
wedding
not.
is
No,
whatever.
I'm just saying for the owners of the estate, like they're busy prepping for this wedding, and we just keep dragging people through their house.
Honestly,
Listen,
right
there's
now, as
fairies
long
involved.
as
I know, but it's still funny.
I know. But yes, as
You're
long
not
as
wrong.
the wedding goes off without a hitch, they will do whatever you guys ask.
That's the best part. They just don't care.
Oh, okay, baby boy.
Right.
Somebody went out and got a bunch of seed burrs in his hair. Yes, you did.
So I think that was worthwhile to do.
It's a brilliant. You get 100 XP because it's actually a really brilliant, thoughtful thing to do. Because knowledge on the Fae is all fairy tale rhymes. There's not a lot of reality to it yet, and so that's a
Yeah, like
big help for that.
it's all limited, so
Okay, all the birds are out now, I think. Okay, better. Want to lay down? Okay. Could you stop playing in the seaverse? Oh, okay. All right. So, like, yeah, no, he is lickety split over there. He might even beat you. He's paying extra money to get there fast. Okay.
How does that work?
So,
It's a
next
magic
step.
coach.
Like I said,
Put more
They
coal
ignore
in the
traffic
fire.
laws.
like I said, money is the most
Yeah.
powerful superpower.
Yeah, it really is. So you guys all get there. So you have her in hand, Mary Margaret in hand, looking her best and feeling good about herself, but a little nervous about this whole never seeing my family again. You have the professor there with his satchel. It seems to be filled of questions and paper and pens and ink and all of that.
Reassure her because she's not yet. She's meeting, an associate of the groom rather than the groom just yet. So, today should be nice and easy.
So she's meeting Grumio and she's like, and I'm not to look at him.
Yes. No matter how much you want to. Just, it's very, very rude.
But you guys have seen him.
Yes.
Well, why can't I see him?
Well, we're not the homeowners.
Because your family has an ancient connection to this land, and he's the brownie that looks after the people with that connection, and those are the rules. I have no idea why, but that is how it is.
It's the Fae. They are strange and enigmatic creatures.
She agrees to everything. She is mentally preparing, will of steel here, not going to look. The family is as welcoming as possible. They're very busy, but they can't thank you guys enough because nothing bad has happened since they started doing this stuff for the brownie and all that. Matter of fact, good things have happened. Like they found the skeleton key to the attic that's been missing for the last 2 weeks, which is where the extra tablecloths are kept. And did you know that they were clean and ready? They've been up in the dusty attic for, a year. So they are thrilled.
Matt has one role play he would like to do with the professor when you have a moment for it.
Absolutely, we can do that now.
I just want to get a sense of the guy and make it very clear that you can be as enthusiastic and interested and excited as you want to be, but these are people. They are not some sort of lab animals. They are not some sort of puzzle for you to solve. They're a living culture, a living experience, and they need to be treated with respect on their own terms. So long as that's going on, the enthusiasm is wonderful, but don't ever confuse them with something in a book.
So to get this sense of him, what are you using? Just straight perception?
Yeah, I've got no skills that relate to this. I just have a vibe that was coming across from the earlier role play of, people coming in and treating the Fae like they're in a zoo exhibit or some shit, and I'm like, no. So
roll me a perception.
I'll give it a an attempt to communicate that message to the professor, if whether he's willing to listen or not. I'll feel good that I've tried to clue him in a little bit. So I don't have any skills that really relate to this. Is this charisma
Straight
to talk to him? Perception?
Straight perception. Because there's two separate things. If you're wanting to know how he's reacting and how he's feeling and how he's behaving towards what you're saying, that's a perception. If you're wanting to try to convince him of what you're saying, that's charisma. So that's
Yeah, I think
you can do both technically.
Yeah,
If you're going to do both, you need to do the charisma one first.
I understand. I'm happy to roll this for you. I think from Mac's perspective, he just feels it's important to make the point and then let the guy do what he wants to do. I don't have any agenda with persuading him, but I do want to be clear. I want to be clear. So anyway, the perception roll is a 7. And the charisma roll is also a 7.
Okay.
Make of
So-
that what you
He's paying attention to what you're saying, and there's these flickering glance in his eye of haughty, how dare you speak to me like this? I'm, professor, right? Type of thing. And there's kind of I get where you're coming from, but he just seems so enthusiastic that, like, you're not taming his enthusiasm, sir. At least that's how you feel it's come across.
Listen, I know how you think you're coming across here, but, like, see if this professor was a woman, this would be mansplaining.
With that, you guys are back there. Who's, I guess, for lack of a better term, knocking on Grumio's door?
Well, Mac has been the one who's been interacting with Grumio so far. So,
I'm just not feeling comfortable.
okay.
River will collect the cream and the brandy and go and knock on the door and let him know that the lady of the land is here.
And much like with Mac, he thanks you for the gracious gift, but he has been expecting you all, so he would like to give you this. And he hands over a really beautiful rose. The color you recognize is most likely from the gardens here, but it's as pristine as a natural rose can be.
Do you want me to present this to the lady of the land?
Oh no, it's for you all. My thanks and your help. And your gracious gifts.
I accept this with great pleasure. And
he smiles.
proudly put it in like her hair. Just uses it to like tie up her hair and uses it like a
He
hairpin.
smiles at that. And he's glad you like his present. His small token of gratitude. And now is the lady waiting behind the bushes as we spoke of?
That is where River would have directed her to before.
Yeah. And her name?
Mary Margaret.
So you actually see him because it went from the head, because that's really, and then like underneath the armpits, and then suddenly he comes out, and it's so fast that you didn't really see him come out. It's just more like he appears out. Does that make sense? And he walks over to the bush. Now, are you going to stay on his side of the bush? Who's on Mary Margaret's side of the bush? Who's on which side?
Morgana will be over the Mary Margaret side of the bush, basically in front of her, so that she's got something to look at to help her fight any temptation to look around. Because Morgana understands Faye and the temptations that just the strangers around them creates. So. And can encourage her and help her on with that and help keep her comfortable. And when she's got something to look at when she's having a conversation, though we're planning to keep it quiet for most of it. So,
all right, August, which side are you on?
I'm happy to be on whichever side is. Yeah, I don't. Probably Mary Margaret's side, actually, because the less I have to deal with the Fae, the better. Quite frankly, he's not comfortable with them at all.
Okay, Nigel.
I will stay on Mary Margaret's side, but I will stay back a ways because I'll have Hedron on my shoulder and mostly kind of keeping him around to as a deterrent for any squirrels or birds or anything else that might come across and possibly tempt her to look away.
Okay. River, you're on Grumio's side. Are you going to try to change that or just stay there?
Nope, she'll stay on Grumio's side.
All right, Max,
Make
you're
sure that he
uncomfortable.
stays on the up and up and.
Okay. Max, since you're uncomfortable, are you staying in the house?
Oh
Are
no,
you outside still?
he would be keeping an eye on the professor.
Okay, the professor. Did you guys? Because the professor wants to be on Grumio's side.
That's fine as long as he behaves himself.
Okay. So he's on
Yeah.
Grumio's side. That means Drew, you're on Grumio's side, which leaves us with Weymont. Where are you at?
Well, since I invited the professor, I should probably keep an eye on him.
All right. So the professor, when the head popped out, like literally, like all but squeed. Like he was like, "Oh, it's real," type of thing. And he's like, you ever see a dog when you're playing that's really into like playing catch and you bring the ball out? You know that look, that hyper focus, excited look. None of you are dog
Yep.
people. Okay.
I've
It's
seen
that
it.
type of look though. It's that wild eyed, please, please, now, please look. But so far he's watching, taking a lot of notes. So Grumio walks over and kind of is hiding inside the bushes. And it's amazing. Once he kind of is in the bushes, you guys can't hardly see him. Like those of you who are watching, you see him, but it's almost as if he camouflages into the bush, right? And he starts with, "Dear Lady Mary Margaret." And then he kind of pauses. He's like, "Oh, you're not ready at all. You know you have to be made ready. This won't do." And she actually looks kind of at Morgana like,
He's
I know that, and she's just stumbling. There's not a full sentence yet. What? And she's looking at Mary at Morgana because she's trying not to look behind her, right?
yeah.
I don't know what the changes that I have to make are. Do I have to dye my
He
hair? What am I doing?
he will help you as my seamstress helped you with the dress. Grumio will help you with everything else. And
How must I change? And he basically is well, but you're wrong. You grew wrong. I have to fix that. I see. How does one fix that? Well, since it's too late, we have to make it not too late and then fix it. So you'll have to come with me. Now she looks really nervous. Come with you where? Well, to my home so I can fix you. All right. She is looking at Nigel. She is looking at especially Morgana, who's straight in front of her. There's this tremor of she is exceptionally nervous at this whole going with him to be altered.
What
So
sort
she is
of
looking at you guys for reassurance.
what sort of alterations do you mean?
Well, you saw the lady. But if that's not the right lady, I need to make this lady look like the right lady.
In terms of aura, or
And you can't see the hand gesturing he's making, but you hear the word in terms of everything.
Can we try an awareness to see if we can tell what the difference is between the two of them?
I won't even
You
make
mean
you roll.
The horns,
the lady that he
stature,
changed. The lady that he changed is stature-wise, height-wise, she's troll. She has horns, but they're very different type of horns. They more elegant, thinner. She looks nothing like, because remember that was one of the things that was striking about her. She doesn't look like a standard troll woman. She's slighter in build. She's much more statuesque. Her horns are this beautiful sweep back thing. He's talking about physically altering her looks. It is a little confusing on because it's past time, so we have to make it in time and then fix it.
I think I understand what he means about that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
He's
talking about physically altering her to look more. I mean, she'll still be her, but she'll look more like the other lady.
More elegant.
On the backside of the bushes, do we hear this?
I think we're all in earshot, so yes.
Okay. Well, then, without hesitation, Mac will go up to Mary Margaret and say, "Would you feel better with a bodyguard?"
So you're on the professor side, which is Grumio's side. So you'd have to kind of move around or go through the bushes. Although you're a troll, you could probably jump over the bushes, maybe? I don't know.
Sure. I have great leap.
So you ask if she, and she starts to nod yes, and Grumio goes, well, he can't come.
Okay. What will make you more comfortable?
Romeo, would you be all right if I came with to assist the lady with her comfort?
That's my job. She said something along the line. Oh, go ahead, Weymont.
I think what he's getting at here, and Weymont is obviously saying this through the bushes since he's on the other side of them. I think what he's getting at here is that she has to go alone. Would I be right in saying that?
Well, yes. You shouldn't see a lady changing. It's unbecoming. So, Nigel, maybe? Let's give Nigel a chance. Or August? Give me kind of a perception and possibly throw on that whole Graham's storytelling skill.
Let me get back to where I have that.
That's very comfy.
Not very good on the perception, I'm afraid. Just a 3.
Well, I thought I'd give everybody like a rank in
Faylore.
Faylore, Graham's storytelling, whatever we wanted to call it.
Yes, no, you did.
27.
Whoa, okay. Give August a chance to.
Sorry, I had written it down and I completely forgot that you'd given us that. So. Oh, that's better. 8.
All right. August, you totally recall that they keep their promises.
Okay.
Nigel, not only do they keep their promises, but you got to be careful how it's worded and you have to keep up your end of the promise. So there is a good chance between the two of you, that perhaps if he promises her safety, and since you guys have already told her that they keep their word, that might help. But Nigel, you're aware you got to watch how you phrase stuff.
All right.
Right, Nigel, lawyer up.
Yeah, pretty much. So then, Grumio, you will take her to when it is not too late. You will make her change. She will not be harmed, and she will be returned safely. Is this correct?
Yes.
And then to Mary Margaret, you will go with him. You will fulfill your duties to undergo the change and listen to his instructions. Is this agreeable to you?
As long as I'll be hurt and returned. Yes?
I think that's got everything covered.
Yeah.
So, how do I go with you if I can't see you? And he just says, well, that's easy. Go to sleep. And before she can finish the question of how am I supposed to sleep, she just crumples. Any reactions?
Check this.
Yeah, if you'll allow it, Mac will have jumped over and catch her. If not, no big, but I'll do my
Well,
best.
You're on that
she's sitting
side.
down.
You can
Yeah,
can
I'm
try to
far
catch
away,
her.
so I ain't gonna be able to do it.
What's happening over there?
Okay,
She's
what do I roll
asleep.
after? You want like unarmed combat or something, or what do you want?
Sure, why not? Whatever makes you happy. You can use a check. It's all good.
All right, I rolled unarmed combat and I rolled a 14.
All right, you catch her. She is clearly unconscious. You have any medical knowledge?
Sorry, microphone was off. I do. I have physician, but I'm just
Oh.
assuming this is a face spell, and
Okay.
I will carry. I will ask Romeo, do you want her carried to the burrow, or will you take care of that?
And he just goes, I will take very good care of my lady.
Okay.
And you don't actually see what's pulling her, but you've seen similar types of magic, I guess, from, well, Nigel and moving people and things, usually in an up down direction. But I guess if up down's possible, left and right is too, right? And she just starts to go. Those of you on the other side, Weymont, the professor is like almost out of his skin. Like, oh my gosh, I want to ask questions now. Can I ask questions now?
No.
Hold
It
on,
is-
hold on, calm down.
German Shepherd brain. No. Oh, sorry. 1 second, guys.
And everybody's got to have all these dogs.
Sorry.
All these.
Somebody went out and didn't take him, and he was sad. But we're going to be a quiet sad,
I got my
and we're
dog,
not
he's been in
going
here
to talk
sleeping.
about it. Well, Dave, my friend Dave's over, and he's putting together this cat house I got for Sweet Voodoo. Even though it's up, he sleeps up on it's a porch that has it's got a roof and it's got a northern wind block, so it's actually pretty out of the. But I got him a cat house, so. But Dave went out without Gotti, and now Gotti is beside himself. Because Dave is the coolest. But because Dave is the coolest thing for Gotti, I guess. So anyhow, so like the professor's about jumping out of his skin, but you see that her basically come through the bushes and pretty much get swallowed up by the hole that the brownie comes out of.
Well, she should be going to the garden. She's asleep. She can go to sleep in the garden bed.
Basically,
And the burrow.
yeah, it took her into the burrow.
That's.
And the burrow just kind of swallows her whole like a snake.
Wow.
Oh, you don't see that every day.
And then Romeo says something along the lines of, "Thank you so much for helping me correct my mistake. What can I do for you? A favor owed is a favor returned."
What sort of favor are we talking about? I mean, what?
See that she is looked after, our family here is looked after, and the family in this house is looked after. And that is all we would ask.
This is the favor you wish.
I mean,
Glance round at the others.
Yeah.
Nice.
that's very magnanimous of you.
I don't know. I am reluctant to. Balance is good, but I would suggest waiting to see what unfolds.
Yeah,
Lord, and then use that coupon if there are difficulties in the negotiation to make sure everybody stays safe. That is my personal opinion, and I don't think it's unreasonable to feel overwhelmed and to say we need to think about it a bit.
yeah. Like I agree 100% with Mac in this. I think that whilst it's all nice and everything to ask for everybody to be protected and all that, it's good to have a favor in your pocket for when the chips are down.
Reasonable.
And
So
with
what
Grumio,
say
just
we-
make sure he knows it's not indefinite. It's just while we think about it and get through this experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he and his kind will not be bound by a long-term debt. It will be resolved.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's what we say. We want to hold on to it till you think about it.
Yeah, just
And
Yep.
he says he'll give you till the eve of the next Sabbath. So basically, you have until August 1st,
right.
the evening of August 1st.
Okay,
This is fine.
that's fine.
It's a question.
Yes.
We have an accord. And he smiles. And he starts to head back to the hole when the professor literally like jumps and tries to kind of put his hands over the hole and be like, please,
No. Mac, can I roll initiative?
Mac, you would have to see it. You're on the wrong side now. You went on her side, remember, to catch her. Yeah, on the wrong side.
Okay.
He's on Glenda's side.
I understand. Here it comes.
River will block the professor.
All right, River, you're on the correct side, so you have a better chance. How are you stopping him?
Get in front, and then like try to hook under his arms and like move him.
Okay. Do you have like an unarmed combat or something?
Are you trying to beat up the professor?
Yeah, no, I've just posted in the chat. I think we've got River's thought pattern right here.
Hey, she's not shooting him.
That's why I said pistol whip.
All right. Do you have an unarmed combat, or do you just need to use dexterity?
I'll just use Dex.
Awesome.
$22.
Go you just saved the professor from a curse.
Grabbed him before he could cover the whole, but he still got, please, I have questions. Please let me ask questions. Pretty, please, sir, I implore you.
Professor, there'll be time later for questions. Right now, you can't interrupt this, I don't think.
There's a ritual to take place.
Can I watch?
He just said it's rude to watch a lady changing.
Yeah, I don't think you can watch this part, but just wait. The ceremony will be soon, and you can take lots of notes on that.
You'll see the results. He's promised to bring her back.
He looks like you kicked his puppy. The brownie looks horrendously confused, but goes away. He goes into his hole and is gone. The professor's like, there's so much we could learn. There's so much we could learn.
There's so much we will learn.
I'm sorry. I
Well,
can't thank you
here,
for the
let's
opportunity anymore.
let's
But
give him a bit
it's
of a
been amazing.
distraction. Professor, now that Grimio has gone, I will point out he's described my familiar here as a Fey hunter.
What? Really? And now he's like focusing on like, what does he do? How do you know? What Faye things can he do? Does he? And he pops into kind of, and you and Nigel and Weymont will recognize it. The rest of you probably will. He has like popped into astral sight and was looking at your bird.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm like, yeah, here, we'll distract him.
It's
You
a
have to
bird.
understand, like, this is that man's life, right? Like everything that he has been working for the last bit, and it just popped into a damn hole. I will say the parrot is eyeing him like, I could probably eat that. I could probably eat that too. I'm just saying. And I have his spleen, right? All right. So with that, she's gone. And no, actually, nobody introduced them. At least nobody told me they were introducing them.
It was part of the basic plan as we were passing through because it seemed polite.
Okay.
But,
I will absolutely allow that happened then.
Just because
I thought
we'd
you
been
guys
having
just
to
went to
pass.
the house and said we going back there, and you just went back there. So.
No, I'd been saying we should introduce them at least briefly. Probably not for long, but
Done and done.
so at least she has some idea what she may end up looking like.
Well, actually, that might have made, that would make sense. It might make it even a little less scary for
But
her because
I
Laura looked very becoming.
Yeah. But I could imagine, and Morgana would deeply relate to the idea of going in. You got the nice, easy form of looking glass fever turning you into an elf, but the whole process of changing what you look like, I'm going to have to go through that again, would actually scare Morgana quite a bit. So.
Well, and that's it. It might make her feel a little more of it. Okay, I'm going to go through this, but I'm not going to become scarier looking.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, Morgana would know this. Everybody would know this except for really Nigel. It was hard. The change was hard. Lots of people died. Their bodies couldn't take it. So, I mean, it's scary. I'm never going to see my family again. Quite frankly, everybody roll that Fey lore. Highest wins the cookie.
Fey lore?
Everybody
yes,
got a point in Fey lore.
we do have that point of Fey lore.
Yeah. I feel like you guys might even get a second point by the time you're done with all this mayhem.
I got an 11.
Okay.
16.
16.
30.
13.
No, 30.
Oh, 30. 30. Wow. Okay.
I got 22.
My dice went nuts.
Mac got a 9.
All right, Morgana. Time moves differently. There is the possibility that August 1st isn't this August 1st.
That's the point. Do we know what August 1st, which lunar he was referring to?
He may not necessarily know either, because remember, time is wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, I will have brought this forward. I'm asking that as a question to the group.
Yes, it's wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Current assumption is this Saturday, or this coming August 1st.
He did say the next
but
one.
But as of right now, you guys have done your job.
Yep.
You are stuck in the waiting to see what happens.
I knew there'd be a reason to drink.
So, if we've done our job,
yep.
Perhaps we go get paid now?
I thought we were kind of doing this one pro bono because it was for Miss Price.
Yeah.
No, she said she was going to pay her wages.
Yep. I mean, she does pay her
Yeah,
wages,
she's
but
saying
that's
it is now a hurry up and wait. You guys will probably want to be at the Saturday wedding, and then you
Yeah.
have until August 1st on the other part.
That sounds reasonable.
Do we know? We don't know when she's going to be returned and have the wedding to the Horn Lord, correct?
We are slightly less confident we could be about that fact.
I mean, you have the promise that no harm will come of her and that she is definitely coming back. But the win of that is, well, wibbly wobbly.
wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Right, I assume that she's going to be coming back before the wedding, though.
Yes, we have the date that she's coming back. It's just the exact year it seems to be the one that's in question, because it's the eve of the next Sabbath, which is Lunar Sabbath, which is the 1st of August. So it'll be on a 1st of August.
Well, yes,
You
but
can't see
the
the
wedding
happy
still has
little
to
look on-
happen at some point, surely.
It'll happen.
Wedding happen. No, the 1st of August I thought was the deadline for deciding what to do with the favour.
That's
Yes.
right.
That
It's
was,
both.
wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
what
then
I'm saying is that she'll be back at some point before the wedding occurs.
Oh, the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, then all we need to do is just make sure that August is always in the back of the marching order, so that way it's August isn't 1st.
Brad, you're terrible. Go away.
Look, it's Faye!
Brad, I love you. Take another
Bad
50
Brad,
XP.
no good.
It's Faye! This is how their rules work! That's not just me putting, that's me playing by Faye rules!
So
100 XP, that's valid.
Mac and
From a-
River always take point.
Yeah. From a
Go.
loose end perspective, do we know if there's any long-term implications of the changes that were made on the daughter of the current family that may have downstream things for them to deal with, especially as she has children?
Not a clue. And I'm not sure how we'd even know that, because we're in completely uncharted territory here, I think.
We are.
Or at least we don't have the charts. Somebody might have the charts. Maybe Grumio has the charts. Who knows?
No, Grumio's not here. He's gone
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
a place somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I think in
He's
terms
in the
of
hole.
story flow, if this is like the closure of this little chapter in the story arc, should just make sure that on their wedding anniversary and then the week leading up to it, that they do a little honoring of the Brownings as part of the traditions for the new family of the land, or just suggest something along those lines.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we can,
Yeah.
give them a hot tip, basically. Just let them know that they should probably do this if they want to remain
Yeah.
unbothered.
Definitely make sure it becomes make that becomes an anniversary when they make sure they appropriate the Fae.
Because, I mean, they're real now. They're there. You get no excuse.
So, with that, do you mind if we does anyone need to or want to do anything till the Laura's wedding?
Other than a little bit of dealing with the family and talking to them of what's gone on and making sure that Mary Margaret's family are told what's happening and doing Morgana's best to get them a more solidly stable financial position by, getting them good employment as barge people. Nothing that needs to be done on screen, I don't think.
Laura's family is still super happy because it's not their kid. Like, I mean, just let's be honest. Their child isn't going to be kidnapped by some Fae Prince thing, right? They had even offered to set up and pay for basically the second wedding if they can be told what parameters, what they like. They're willing to pay for that wedding to make sure that just stays over there, right?
We'll hold that thought if it's required. Probably seems unlikely. Groom's family paying for it
Mary
all of that.
Margaret's family is a harder thing. Like, they want promises that their daughter's going to be back soon. What is this about? She may never come back. They are naturally worried. There's not much they can do about it, but they keep asking questions that you guys probably don't have answers to.
Try the best to give them reassurance, and that
I mean, we can let them know
they will get a chance to see her before the wedding.
The Fae keep their promises. He's promised to bring her back and that she will be safe.
Do you tell them that you may not know the year of this bring back?
I will keep that part vague.
I think that's a good idea, but I just wanted to make sure I understood.
I mean, we kind of know that they're coming back before the wedding. Again, the year thing was to do with the favor, wasn't it?
Who knows? Let's just assume it might be either, both, all of the above.
But I posted in the chat, I won't say this in front of her family, but I will say we could ask, for our favor, that Grumio make sure that at some point she gets a chance to see her family again.
Yes, yeah.
That could be a legitimate use, and we could give that, if we agree to do that, we could give that as her assurance.
Yeah.
The circumstances to that may be left vague, so it may be when they're on their deathbed, he comes and takes them away to go see her, or, something to that effect, but...
I mean, you don't have to leave it that vague if you don't want.
No, I'm saying that I'm saying that for our group. So
yeah. If the conversation is within our group, to me, from the tales, the Fey bargains work best when it's a matter of balance and proportion. So if you don't, gifts from the Fey are very dangerous in Mac's superstitious view of the world. The way to minimize downstream repercussions is we helped Grumio avoid the consequences of a mistake that could have gotten him into a great deal of trouble. And so the core of the favor we request in return should be something that has that similar energy and proportion to it. So something that was a mistake that could be avoided with hard work, smart work, preparation, and cooperation and working together, it to enhance those energies and to set up, if it's a Fey token or something that could be triggered by the group that would give us that edge when we need it for a mistake that would have unfortunate consequences that it could be avoided with their help. That to me would be proportional and balanced and something that would not tangle up in the wild magic in the same way. But Mac would just there's way too many stories about Fey gifts gone wrong. So that's just a comment that he would make while we're talking.
Well, that's kind of where I'm thinking with it, is its avoidance of bad consequences. Her never getting the chance to see her family again could be considered a bad consequence. So if she gets a chance to see them again at some point, it could be a mitigation of that within that same...
and we are using our gift unselfishly, which is also something that tends to mitigate bad repercussions in stories. It's when people try to be, get lots, get something they don't deserve.
Yeah, I hear you.
Where the gifts go wrong.
Yeah, selfishness is a definite trap with this stuff. I'm just thinking it should be something.
It's not a bad shout. I'm just thinking, it fits as long as you're coming at it with that perspective.
Yeah, I hear you. I agree. I think one of the things that sticks a little bit with that for me in my head as I'm thinking about this is when you do a favor for the Fae, they like to do a favor back for you. and so it has to somehow be tied to us. But have
It,
the
it, it
limitations.
is tied to it
Yeah,
is tied to us because it's reassuring us about them.
Yeah. Okay. However you want to do it, it's fine. It's just
But
something
it's
that the vibe that I was feeling.
that's my thought on the matter is it's a reassurance for us because of making sure that we don't get bad repercussions for our actions. Because we weren't expecting her to be having to disappear off at this point. So hey, there we go.
And especially because we're the ones that went to her family and kind of got her roped into this.
Yeah.
So the only thing I'm going to comment on is, you don't know where the new wedding, you don't know where Mary Margaret's supposed to get married.
This was not about her wedding venue. This was about the human or troll
Laura's
young
wedding
girl
venue, Laura's wedding is still
at the house.
at the small church with the big event in the backyard.
Yeah, I understand. All I
Okay.
was saying was during that downtime, Mac would like walk the perimeters, know which trees are normally where.
No, that's fine. Because
Yeah,
you
that's
said the
that
new
stuff.
family wedding venue, and that's what confused me. So I thought you were talking about Mary Margaret's. You don't know anything about Mary Margaret's. Laura's,
Yeah,
you
I
can
see.
absolutely walk and do setup through. As far as what the brownies' boundaries are, you actually do not know that either.
Yeah, I understand. I'll just walk the land in the area. Just make sure I'm
Yeah,
familiar.
absolutely, you can do that. That is perfectly fine. Just remember, if it's anything to do with that part, you have an automatic 2-step bonus. Cool? Because you're putting the time into it.
That sounds awesome.
All right. So, because you guys were on what, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I believe the meeting with Grimmy, I think, took place on the Tuesday.
On the Tuesday. So you have like 4 days to go and do whatever you want. The day of the wedding happens. You guys were, of course, invited. Mac is apparently also playing security for this. I'm going to make this as painless as possible. It was a lovely affair. The worst that Mac probably had to deal with was a few, everybody has one, drunk uncle people who need to stop being drunk uncle people. I don't know that we even need to roll necessarily for that, unless Mac wants to, but I'm pretty sure that Mac could break up drunken brawl.
And I would do it in a way that makes anyway, yes, I would. We're done.
And you do it in a nice low key way to not make a bigger disturbance. Is that what you're looking for?
Exactly.
Yes, I gotcha. So the wedding
It does
itself
make a
goes off.
disturbance. It doesn't make more orphans.
No more orphans today.
We have a strict keep orphans to a minimum in our jobs.
That's right.
With definitely group policy. Minimal orphan creation.
I was gonna say, I don't think we've created any orphans.
We've created an orphan.
Yeah, you weren't here for that.
You and
You missed it, but
No, the I guess the dormice, but
no. Some people tried to mug us mug Morgana while we were in Scotland. Mac hit one of them with an axe. It went about as well for that person as you'd expect. But one of the accomplices was that said person's child, so orphan. Traumatized orphan. But criminal? Shrug.
all right. A couple of days later, I need a very minimal perception roll from well, I guess technically it would be River.
great perception.
Yep. Awareness technically would work. It is sight related.
Oh.
Sorry. Should say that. It was sight related.
$21.
The mirror is askew. And the isn't like capital letters. The mirror is askew. Otherwise, for
Go.
everybody else, it was you had a lovely wedding, and you still have what 10 days before, 9 days before the possible second wedding.
Sounds about right.
You going to mention anything about the mirror, or just keep it in your pocket? Because I mean, it could have been the neighbors were jumping around or something. That happens.
Eh. I'll bring it up with Morgana.
Just out of position.
Yeah, it was just slightly askew after I provided something that I thought the dormice would have for sustenance.
It's nothing's arrived in your house or anything like that, and you placed said item next to the mirror.
I set it on the mirror.
And then it was gone, and the mirror was then askew.
The gun is gone, right?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The gun is gone.
Your gun?
Yeah. So the one I offered to the dormice.
When did you do that?
I put it in the chat.
Oh, I
'Cause it's
don't
like-
think they took your gun.
Yeah.
So
The
the
gun that
What about your
the
gun would have basically evil tied to it?
the one that she used to interrogate the nun, Russian roulette to the knee.
Oh, yeah, they would have taken that then. Yeah, that would go. So I would assume the gun is gone. Yeah. But the mirror itself hadn't moved when the gun left. This is moved now.
Can we
sometime
check
so-
the tracks or something?
well,
See
What was that,
if
Drew?
there's marks in the dust. See if we find out who moved it.
You haven't been informed of this yet. It was only
Yeah.
River and Morgana at this point.
Morgana, yeah.
Right. Apologies.
That's
You can tell Morgana or River, nothing else has been moved. Your gun disappeared a few days ago, and the mirror didn't move. And you saw nothing else that chimed off that anybody was in there, that anything was altered. Just the mirror's askew.
Yeah. Just the mirrors askew.
just keep your eyes open just in case. It might be worth us coming and having a quick look round.
Yeah. What's gathering everyone up for?
Possibly gathering one of Weymont or Nigel, so they can have a look at things astrally. But I'm not sure going down all mob-handed will aid us at all.
All right. Do you two keep that to yourselves for right now, or do you tell everybody else?
Any astral signs might are probably already gone. So
Yeah, that's
keep it to I'll keep it to myself for now.
yeah. I will be following River's lead on that. But checking all of my mirrors.
All right. And then a couple of days before the 1st, unless something else happens or somebody wants something else. All right. So about, actually probably closer to 3 days before the wedding, you guys get a message, phone call, whatever. They believe Mary Margaret is in their garden and thought you should know.
Yes, let's come down and meet her then.
So what day is this on?
Should be like 3 days before August 1st. So July 29, 28, something like that.
Yep.
All right. You guys head down quickly.
Yep.
And she looks very different. She also seems a bit dazed and confused. The family wasn't sure what to do, so they just kind of have like brought her in the house, offered her some tea, but they're really not sure what to do. And Mary Margaret is kind of scattered. But she looks a lot more like Laura than she did before. But not like it's very obviously Mary Margaret.
Just
But
to check, is the seamstress going to kill me because we have to change all the measurements?
Yeah.
Oh God.
But she's actually a little taller than she was. She's much slighter in frame. Her horns are different than Laura's. Like her horns are actually kind of curled around her head in almost a crown. In all truth, she's not as glamorous as Laura, but she's still beautiful and striking. Part of this is possibly the Laura's confidence shining through versus a very confused Mary Margaret.
Yeah. Well, assure her and welcome her back and compliment her on her how good she is looking. Because that seems polite.
I don't know what happened. I woke up in the garden.
You remember him agreeing to go, and then you fell asleep, and then you woke up.
I remember agreeing.
Yes.
I don't remember falling asleep.
I'm pretty sure we never do. And then you remember waking up. Well, you've gone, you've transformed, and by the sound of it, it was a lot.
Morgana, do you have your compact mirror so she can see?
Yes, I will produce my compact mirror.
And she just starts kind of tilting it and looking down. This is now, I'm very different again. Is this who I was always supposed to be?
I think so, yes.
Do you think he'll like me like this?
He's a damn fool if he doesn't.
And it's probably the first smile that you've seen at this point. But like I said, she was very confused and nervous, and she's building up some confidence. And then she asks if she can see her family. Please.
Yes. I think that is the first thing we do, and I will get some measurements and communicate them to the seamstress so you have some clothes. But your family they were glad you're moving to getting to something great, but they desperately wanted to see you as well. So let us get you to them. Thank Laura's family for looking after her.
Your seamstress sends a very large bill and an angry message. It's Victorian polite angry, but it's angry.
I'll send the brother out. I'll send the brother out to charm her at some point.
Not a bad idea. Basically, all of their stuff doesn't fit. Matter of fact, the dress that she went away in is the dress she's wearing, and it's way too big on her current frame. She does look over at Mac at one point and go, I'm what do you think?
I think you look lovely, and I wish you every happiness with your new husband.
And she nods and murmurs a thank you. And you guys whisk her off to her family. Her family is absolutely in shock. And at points, the mother actually makes a comment similar to, "Are we sure it's our Mary Margaret and not a change?"
I would remind them of what it was like when she went through the change the first time. It's just been completed.
No.
Sorry. I have a company and Hoshi's over, which is Batsy's sister, who wants to bark about everything. She is. So, other than and that kind of calms them down. They want to know what else they need to do to prepare for the wedding.
We will let you know as soon as we do. I would hope that, well, it'll be anything the family of the bride need to do. We'll work it out and we'll let you know.
They're thankful.
To Mary Margaret, did Grumio give you any additional instructions that you're aware of?
She doesn't remember anything between agreement and waking up.
She slept through the entire thing.
Is there anything you feel you need to do? Part of his preparation should have been, or part of his job should have been giving the preparations for you. Is there anything you feel instinctually that you need to do?
She shakes her head no. She seems to have zero memory of that time period, and she isn't sure what she's supposed to do. She does ask if maybe tomorrow, after she spent some time with the family, if she could maybe go and ask Grumio. She's willing not to look, but she maybe if she could ask Grumio what she's supposed to do.
I think
that seems reasonable. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys leave Mary Margaret with her family.
Yep.
And anything you guys do between now and when you pick her up?
Kate, my seamstress.
See the seamstress who is evil eyeing you until you give her a lot more money, and then she loves you again.
Yeah, and promises of whatever project she wants, and not really contesting her decisions about how to dress me.
She'd also like to know what beauty thing changed it so dramatically in such a short period of time. And she has lots of women who would like to do whatever that is.
Airy magic, and it comes to a marriage to a very dangerous gentleman. I don't think it could be recommended as a beauty
She's not
as
sure
a beauty regime.
Okay. All right. Anybody doing anything else that night, next morning that I need to know about?
Did we? I was a little confused there, and I apologize. Placements and stuff are sometimes difficult for me to track in game. Did we go and talk to Grumio and see what his perspective on how well it
Not
went,
yet.
things to do? Okay, that's coming up.
Mary Margaret wants to do that tomorrow. You guys got her kind of chilled a little bit, took her home, asked her if she knew of anything, because the family wants to know too, if they're supposed to do something. And Mary Margaret has asked for you guys to take her to Grumio tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Not a problem. Anybody else doing anything that night before you pick up Mary Margaret and take her to Grumio?
Sure. Sorry,
Probably.
sure they have contact information. If anybody tries to sabotage or steal the bride during the night, we're ready to react.
Well, Well, I'll contact the professor, make sure he's ready to go to the wedding and all that, and
He is
you know,
excited, but he's acting calmer.
good.
You can tell that he's still like you can hear it, but he's trying to act more professional. Maybe would be the right word.
Yes, it would be good to act as a professional, given you're a professor.
Look! This is his whole life's goal being offered somewhat. It's exciting for him.
I get it.
All right,
He's professing his interest.
River. I need another perception check. You can use awareness. It is visual.
14.
Yeah, this one was really easy. Much easier than that. Help, mother, is written on the mirror.
I'll call up the group and ask that write on the mirror what help is needed.
They want to help Mother.
River. How do you write it on the mirror? With what? How? I need some details.
Ink.
With like you dipped your finger in the ink? Are you dipping a quill in the ink?
Quill.
A quill. Okay. All right. The others, are you headed over to River's place?
Yes.
Sure.
Assuming she's asked for us, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's sending for
Yeah.
assistance.
That's a good question. She said she called everybody and told you it says help, mother. Did you ask for them to come over or just tell them that's what it says? Thanks, have a good day.
River would be the type to like, here's what's going on, and forget to say, hey, you should probably come over.
I think Morgana would have got, understanding what's recently happened, would have gone, we should go, assuming it was while we were in the office, would have gone, we should go over to find her, to check on her.
Well, it's that evening after you dropped off Mary Margaret.
Yeah.
So she's probably having to contact you guys at wherever you go to sleep. So I'm not saying that that means that you can't go or that you can't tell the others, but I think it would mean that you are individually contacted. So you could get there, Morgana, and then be like, nope, the others should be here if they didn't show up on their own. So we could do that. How do you feel about that, guys? I guess the question is, without her saying, yes, please come here, if River contacts you and says, the mirror now says, help, mother, do you just go there?
Mac would.
Morgana does.
August would not.
Okay, August isn't there. What about Nigel and Weymont?
I mean, yeah, she's reporting weird stuff with the Fae.
Okay, Weymont?
Yeah, I'll head off with Nigel.
Okay. So since August is the only one not here, does someone want to contact August and be like, show up?
Yeah.
Or are you okay with August not being there? I just want to know.
I'm cool with August not being there because the whole Dormice thing, he was not happy with.
Yeah.
The fact that he was roped into, or he felt roped into the agreement as a group.
We all were. It was the best of a bad situation.
We could have just walked away.
Morgana
anyway,
will certainly send a note so that he knows where we've gone.
Fair enough. But he will not have, gone just on that message that he received from River.
Right, which is why I'm saying, did they want to send you a different message like, nope, we want you here? We're all here, where are you?
I think Morgana will send a note. Morgana can see some wisdom.
Go ahead, sorry.
Morgana can see some wisdom in one of us remaining behind, and we all vanish. Somebody knows that we've all vanished. And under what circumstances. So sending him a note with a couple of details. with that isn't unreasonable, and then we're not sort of hanging around waiting for him to turn up as well.
Yeah, but
and then head inside to investigate. Hopefully find River there, trying to write in a mirror with ink, but we shall find out.
Okay. For the utterly confused him. So August is not coming over. No one's going to remessage August. August is staying where August is happy and safe and away from crazy face shit. The rest of you are investigating. Tell me what you're doing.
Heading into River's house.
Okay. You are in River's house. The mirror
Give her.
very clearly says, help mother.
Do we know how to open the mirror to step through?
I
Blood.
do not. I think blood was something you used before.
Yeah.
Well, River wrote the message on the mirror before we came over. Has there been a reply yet?
So, River, what is the exact message? We'll make sure I have it
What
right.
help? What help is needed?
Help us, please. Appears on the mirror.
Mac will say to River, if you ask them to open the portal, I'll go and find out what they want. If you guys want to stay here, it's all good either way.
Well,
I'm the
they're
one that
asking
took
for
responsibility for the mirror, so she'll take out her hunting knife, cut her thumb, and put it to the mirror.
Okay. Hold that thought. I'm looking for something really quick. Well, it's easy enough. You cut your thumb, you hold the bloody thumb to the mirror. You
Yep.
go through the mirror. River is now gone.
Mac cuts his thumb and jumps right after her.
Okay, Mac is gone.
Yeah, I think we'll.
Apparently, my friend Dave fucking hates that. All right, what is everybody on the non-face side of the mirror doing?
I think I'll astral say this.
Well,
I don't know. That's a good way to go insane.
Somebody's got to try.
isn't that a river in France?
all right, give me an astral sight.
Look, speaking out of character, look, Chris, you of all people should know what happens when you look into a mirror.
Listen,
with crazy magic shit going on.
I've been there. I've done that. I've seen that. But, you know, I mean, we ain't dealing with any hounds of Pindalos or anything like that at this point, so I think we'll be all right. 12.
Well, it hurts your head, and you have to shut it down.
Ah,
It's like too much all at once. Overload, migraine, instant land.
too much magic.
That will be about the pause Morgana takes to think, and then we'll prick her. You pull her hat pin, prick her own thumb, and put it on the mirror.
Morgana's gone.
All right, so I want to bring Hedron with me, but I don't want him to have to get hurt. Can I prick one thumb and let him through, and then prick my other thumb and let me come through?
Do a quick perception really fast.
Let's see. Where's the right die?
Like, as fascinating as this is, I think it'd be wise if one of us stayed here to make sure the mirror doesn't get broken while you're all in it.
I got a 9 on straight perception.
Okay. So, do you want, the thought will cross your mind, do you want to let August know that everyone's going through the mirror and what it said before you go. I'm not telling you have to. I'm just telling you that the thought would have probably crossed your mind at least to make a decision about that.
I thought we already did.
Well, you told her that you
Yeah.
guys were there, not that you absolutely. They're all in there. I'm joining them. There's somewhat of a difference.
And as Weymont just said, one of them staying behind to keep an eye on the mirror can also cover
And
that
that
as
maybe
well. So.
you want. And hey, we're all going through the mirror. Do you want to come down here and keep an eye on the mirror? Like, I'm not saying you have to. You can just go through the mirror. I'm just saying, did you want to wait August in a little bit better?
Yeah, like put it this way: if nobody else is there to watch the mirror, I will stay behind to watch the mirror. I will take that shot for the group.
Oh, right. Weymont hasn't gone back over. Sorry, I would have made you do the same check for the same idea of, because it's one thing to say we're investigating this and then you all disappear. It's another thing to say no, we actively went through the mirror. Please get your butt over here and watch a mirror. Or do you want to be, since we're actively going, or do you want to be with us and Weymont stay? Like, I think that it would cross your mind to have that conversation.
Yes.
I could be wrong. So, Nigel, do you want to go in and then Weymont and August play rock, paper, scissors?
All right. Rock, paper, scissors. It is then. It's the only fair way.
I'm quite
Yeah,
happy to
because-
stay
because, I
this
mean-
side, thank
Weymont
you.
wants to do.
I mean, my intent is to go in, so
Okay.
I'm
So
just.
you're gonna
I personally,
hold of your bird. So you're
August,
keeping tight over your bird, and your bird goes with.
Yes, yeah. I'll pay the
So-
blood for my bird, so he doesn't have to get hurt, and then I'll pay again so that I can go in.
And then a couple of C's.
So you and the bird are on the other side. So that leaves Weymont and August on this side.
To include one extra screw in case you lose one. Yeah.
Right.
August is more than happy to stay this side if Weymont really wants to go over there.
I mean, I don't really want to go over there.
Well, neither
Nobody
does
wants to
August,
go
so there you
zero.
go.
Then we'll do it with rock, scissors, paper. It's the only way.
Or you both stay. It's a thing.
All right, each of you try rock, paper, or scissors, but don't hit send until I say send.
Do you want me to just type it into the chat, or
You can just type it into the chat, but don't hit
Yeah.
don't hit until I say when. That way both
Okay,
of you
give
have
me a
already
second.
decided. Okay.
I have typed something and I'm ready to go.
All right.
yes, me too.
Okay, send. We'll see who wins.
Oh,
So who won?
August?
That would be
August.
me. Poppy pop.
Right,
Or you could
so
stay.
So
best 2 out of 3?
well, no. August won. That means August gets to choose.
Yeah, Poppy pop if you go in. Because I'm staying.
Fine. I'll prick my finger and go in the mirror.
I want as little to do with these bloody dormice as possible.
Yes, me too. You know. Evidently, the god of rock, paper, scissors himself has decided that I've got to go in the damn mirror, so I'm going.
So you prick your thumb and join the others. All right. The one thing that you will notice, August, on your side of the mirror,
Mhm.
is that the blood disappears with them. So you're at least not left with a bloody mirror.
Yeah, that's fair.
Everybody who's over.
Well,
You're
a
gonna
mirror with
start
blood
with-
on it, still left with the bloody mirror.
It's true.
No, the blood
Yes.
disappeared.
No, I'm
I
saying
know, but the
I'm using the idiom
Okay,
bloody.
bloody mirror. I got. Okay, yes, 50 points. That was a good use of the term bloody. Okay, so now on the other side of the mirror, I start with River. You will remember your guys' dormice. Put the quick again. And remember that several of them have some form of clothing as thing. But they seem to be fighting, and there's a ton of these little guys, right? But they seem to be fighting a ton of very similar, but so you're not really sure, except I need a perception check. Awareness will work.
Well, if these are fake, can we use the Fey lore?
Not on what this first thing is. What I need on this first thing is I need her to notice something or not notice it.
Oh, okay.
15.
Okay. About half of the dormice, maybe a little bit more like 60-40, have red eyes, not black eyes. And none of the red-eyed mice have clothing on. And at what you ran, they're a little more tattered. And they seem to be winning this battle.
Okay, the hell is going on with this?
Mac, you came in next. I need an awareness check from you.
It does help if you turn on the microphone, right? I rolled an 11. Thank you.
11. So on the 11, there are a whole bunch of those dormice fighting each other.
I would like to
notice. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, when I see the fighting, the big troll comes through the mirror, and I would like to use my new ability, Battle Shout, to bellow into the fray. Mother's here. Stop fighting. Tell me your sides of the story one at a time. We're going to sort this out, and Mama's pissed.
Okay. Roll it.
Not something I've used before, so I got to check my little what step am
No,
I?
that's
with my
fine.
starter. Yeah. All right. Let's see. I can use a karma on this too, right? Okay, cool.
I believe so.
Oh.
Core
8
skill.
and a 5, 13. Does that beat their social defense as the big troll comes tromping through?
So about half of them stop. The unfortunate thing is the other half doesn't.
Oh,
And
Mama's
the
going to
half
lay
that
in
stopped
with
basically
yeah.
almost all took damage because they stopped to look at you.
Okay, well, I'm going to come plowing into the bunch of rats.
Hold
If they
on,
tear me
hold
apart,
on.
they tear me apart.
Hold on.
I'm good.
Hold on. Because I think this means the bird came in.
Morgana was next, I think.
Oh no, Morgana was next. That's right. So Morgana's here and she gets an action. So Morgana, when you show up, I need a perception awareness check from you.
A mighty 1.
1.
Mighty.
You have no fucking clue what's going on. There's a whole bunch of dormice and I guess they're fighting. You got nothing. There's what the F is all of this? Then it would be the bird. The bird swoops in and starts attacking one of the red-eyed dormice just off the bat. Just goes after it. Then Nigel comes in. Nigel, you need a perception.
I got a 12.
Can I get a clarification? Are the red ones the ones we haven't dealt with before, and the black ones are the ones we have?
So I put the picture back up in the thing. Your guys' dormice have black eyes.
Okay, so the bird is not attacking the mice that we have an agreement with. He's attacking the ones that are attacking them.
Yes, that is what you can tell so far.
All right.
Nigel, basically, there seems to be some sort of dormouse war going on. And the black-eyed ones versus the red-eyed ones. And you come in just as like the black-eyed ones all kind of stop and turn to stare at Mac. And the red-eyed ones are continuing to attack. Your parrot is very actively trying to kill and eat one of the red-eyed ones. What are you going to do? What's your action before Weymont comes in?
Well, no time to experiment like the present. I'm going to crack off a shot at one of these guys.
One of them.
So you're gonna shoot at a red one or a black-eyed one?
Oh, at the red one. Yeah, no, I'm not shooting the black ones.
I figured it would be the red-eyed ones, but I want to clarify, make sure I don't screw up. I can't. Damn it, Dave. Sorry. My house guests are being rowdy. But anyhow, so give me your shot.
Hang on. That would be 23.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna hit. And
Is
you're
that
using your special gun, right?
Yeah.
All right. Damage. Roll as normal.
Is there a raise?
Oh god, yeah. There's like
For-
2 raises.
Okay, so that's going to be a +8 on it then. So that's.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you. Thank you
Yeah.
for reminding me.
That's why I checked. That's okay. So that's going to be. Hang on, that limited count. Jesus. Jesus, 32. 34.
Okay. I need a perception awareness check.
Okay.
If you have to, the initial thing is that dormouse is very dead, but there's some
I
other stuff going on.
I figured because yeah.
I mean, it's a dormouse. Like one down, 999 to go.
That's an 18 perception or on the awareness.
Good perception awareness. That's a good awareness. So it definitely does. You actually can kind of see that green crackle of energy that Weymont was telling you about. You feel better again. It's that same kind of perk of you didn't need your health points out of character, health points raised, but it feels like you got good energy. The other thing you actively notice is that a couple of the dormouse are suddenly better as well.
Like the red-eyed ones? Or
nope, the black-eyed ones.
Oh,
yours.
Okay.
The black-eyed ones are better.
Okay.
So River's going to level her shotgun and
not
shoot.
to River. Not to River. River's already gone. I have to bring Weymont in.
So all my action was to see something and not do anything.
I will give you a check in a minute. I want to bring Weymont in. You're okay. You can shoot something in a minute. Weymont, come in and give me a perception.
Awareness, yes.
Yes.
Wow, I actually have dice here. I should really buy things occasionally.
You should really buy things. You should come out here. I'll loan you dice. I have a ton.
You have a place for screws in here, Steve?
Oh no, like I have a million dice. I'm talking about actual skill points.
Oh, well, that's that.
Spend some of that experience she keeps getting us.
Yeah, you give me a ton of experience, and then I just don't spend it. 22.
I know, right? They all been out shape.
All right. So, what's your awareness?
22.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
2.
22.
And also 2. 22.
22. Got it. Okay. So, seems to be black-eyed mice, which you will call your guys' mice, versus some red-eyed mice. But the black-eyed mice kind of pause, and the red-eyed mice are still fighting. And it very, very clearly looks like the black-eyed mice are mostly looking at Mac. And from what you can tell, it looks like Weymont may have blasted one into a bazillion pieces.
Okay, what the hell? Right, I didn't even really want to come in here anyway, but this is just ridiculous. Right. Can I do anything, or are we doing something else?
If you say something, you can do it, probably.
Okay.
I basically am getting everybody in action, and I'm going to go back to River because she said she basically saw what was going on, and she's getting a very good sweep of things and gets to make her move.
Okay.
Okay. You got a 50-50 shot. I get one.
So, what is your action?
I am going to cast a spell.
Okay, what are you casting?
I am going to cast Bewildering Mist, which is illusion. Essentially, it's my version of the illusion spell.
Okay.
So I didn't realize this, but that's got to be some.
And
So,
so is it like an actual looks like a mist to confuse them so they can't see?
yes, it is a mist, but the thing is that it can have several different components. It is a bewildering mist, after all. So it will create a mist that goes around, but what I'm also going to do is create some of our black-eyed mice that will jump out of the mist at them occasionally to confuse them.
You know?
Does that make sense?
Sure.
I'm gonna play
So that,
do that.
yeah, well, I'm going to do that anyway. So I'll roll my spellcasting check. This is another one of those things that I really should probably improve at some point. It's only rank 4. I bet everybody else has got rank 6s by now.
No, rank 4 is about right.
Yeah, no,
All right.
my spellcasting's rank 4.
15. On the spellcraft check. Difficulty is 8, so that's definitely a pass.
With one step up, so.
With one step up, which means it can have additional components, which means the mist can be one component, and another 3 components could be mice that kind of jump in and out and, you know, aren't actually there, but might as well be because it's a mist. You know?
Okay. So what is your spellcasting roll?
15. Can like the Andy, are you having trouble hearing me?
0?
1-5.
1-5.
Yeah, 15. And it's against their social.
Actually, it's just against 8.
No,
It's against casting
mystical.
difficulty of an 8.
Oh,
Yep.
versus an 8. Okay.
So
they don't have
now,
that
Chris, I
save
believe
against
you need to roll an effect test, which then they have to roll perception against.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. That is true. As for
it's an illusion.
what do you roll for the effect test anyway?
Whatever the spell should have an effect roll to it.
It's usually will plus something.
Will plus
usually
rank.
will plus spellcasting rank.
Yeah, will plus rank is the usual one, but sometimes it's just like a straight number or something else. But
well, will plus rank would be step 11, and step 11 is D10 plus D8. Yeah, so it's the same. It's the same as before, really. That's pretty good, though.
And don't forget, you get a raise on it, so you hit a +2 bonus.
Is that just straight +2 or +2 to the step?
You can do either. So if you want to keep the roll, you can just add +2 to it, so you don't have to re-roll.
I'll just add +2 to it because I've already rolled. So let's see here. That is 16 plus 8, 24, 26 with the +2.
Then they would have to roll 26 on perception, awareness, whatever, to see through the illusion.
Every single one of them.
No, you take the highest ranked one and you use theirs. Don't be silly. You beat them. They did not beat a 20. Whatever. They didn't even hit a 20. So what are all of the? So they're obscured by the Nisk, and then what's the other effect you're putting on?
Okay, so basically speaking, they are obscured by the mist, and I'm having the other components, of which there are 3, are just random sort of black-eyed mice jumping out of the mist to attack them. This so that they don't know if the mice attacking them are an illusion or not.
So they don't know what is it. They don't know if there are mice attacking them or are real or not.
Yes, that's the idea.
Okay. Mayhem. Gotcha. Now, River, you've gone through the shock of the pool of going through the mirror. You've seen this. You've seen everything. What do you want to do?
Level the shotgun and move to the side where I can just do a sweeping shot through just the red eye mice.
That is almost impossible. This is a fray. You are literally in a fray. You're not going to get a shot where it's only red eye mice, unless you're targeting a particular mouse.
It's a
Firing
shotgun,
into a melee
so
rolls.
I mean, I'm just telling you, you don't have to use the shotgun. I know you have other weapons. Assuming.
But she likes the shotgun.
And I like the
shotgun
shotgun
and
too. But shooting into a fray has the negative act of shooting into a fray.
all right, then I'll just use the hand axe.
Okay. You're targeting one of the red eye mice, I assume. You can tell me if I'm wrong. All right.
There's probably going to take me 10 years. Have you go play so.
17.
Absolutely with a raise.
Yep, 9 plus 2, so that'd be 11. $20 damage.
That is a dead dormouse. All right. I'm leaving you guys over there. Just to make sure before it's time to leave for the day. Is August doing anything on his side of the mirror?
So I'm at River's house in a room with a mirror. I'm just keeping an eye on the mirror and making sure that, nothing particularly more strange happens.
Right.
And keeping an eye on the mirror, I guess.
Yes.
Put the kettle
make a
on.
cup of tea. I'd have to find the kettle in it, and I'm in somebody's house, and it's a strange to me house. Might be considered rude.
Look
Mac,
behind the weapon rack.
If you want to attack a red-eyed mouse before we end, you're welcome to do it.
Right.
I would love to, and my attack chain is. I have numbers here for you. The first one was I have. Well, actually, I have a question. I assume that I can use melee weapons like flat of blade to knock them back rather than kill, because I don't want to kill the mice. I just want to break up the fight.
Okay.
Yes, because you can just attack and knock down.
Okay, well, on that roll, I got a 17 to hit.
Okay, that
And then
hits.
I have a follow-up, which is a swift kick, which I did as well, which rolled a 15.
Okay. So
And
you have flat bladed, push back. You're going to get some reds and the black when you do it, but you pushed a bunch back, and then you kicked one of the red ones.
Yeah, I'm just shouting at them to stop fighting, separate yourselves, get back. The stuff a parent would do if the kids are fighting.
Okay. And the thing is that the black ones seem to be paying attention. The red ones seem to give a flying F less.
And I would shout to the black ones, get behind me, and I'll put myself between them and the red. So I'll try to, for whatever it's worth. That was the deal. Do you want some damage tests, or is it just role playing at this point?
This is just role playing because we got done. I'm leaving you guys right there in the middle of this.
Okay,
Because
cool.
I'm a jerk.
And I would like to point out to the Brits that the pecan rolls that I posted in the channel are covered in a toffee crumble with vanilla and butter.
Okay. Stop teasing people, Drew. Stop it.
Yeah, stop it. Stop it.
You're getting some baked goods in April. Don't give me that. You're getting twice a year this year.
That's like forever away.
It is. So when you knock them back with the blade of your sword, I'm assuming we're not doing lethal damage.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt anything, but I want to break it up.
The kick So I need you to understand, when I say this is crazy, you're talking about a few hundred of these things fighting.
That's
Like,
fine.
you need to understand the mass. Okay. The one you kicked, unless you want to tell me specifically that it was non-lethal, there is a
do.
very good chance without. Okay. So you heard it, it's unconscious, but I feel like there's almost no way you roll all ones on that damage.
I
So
understand.
you
You know,
kick
it
it
is
back,
what it
that
is.
one's unconscious.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is what my thought process is, unless you don't like that. And then we can
No,
talk.
yeah, we're good. Do what I can.
I am leaving all of you in the middle of a black eye versus red eye dormouse war, except
August.
making tea. Currently, there is a bit of a problem with the war because the majority of the black mice seem to have listened to Mac, and they did stop fighting. So they basically, that round, all of them took damage if they were being attacked because they were looking at Mac. Mac is trying to get them behind him, and that's it. That's where I'm leaving you guys.
And Morgana's very confused, but he's going to follow River's lead.
All right. Our next one is we can't do the 29th, right? No, hold on.
No.
Correct.
Yeah, 29th was out.
29th was out. So
Yeah,
that
'cause I
put us on
will
the 12th.
not be here.
So that puts us on the 12th, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
What a wonderful place to leave this. Mwahahaha.
Almost as if you planned it.
So yeah, this is our last session for the year.
Yay.
Hey, happy
I
Christmas.
know.
Have a
Let's
good
go on a
Christmas, everyone.
cliffhanger. I've watched TV shows. I know what we do. You leave it on a cliffhanger.
Absolutely. As I said, almost as if you planned it.
We're waiting on a wedding. We got a crazy mouse battle. And August sat with a bloody mirror. Well, a non-bloody bloody
No,
mirror.
it's not a bloody. It's the bloody mirror rather than the actually bloody mirror. Yeah.
I said a non-bloody bloody mirror.
Yep. That's the one.
So, merry happy holidays. Take 1,000 XP.
Yay.
Yay! Thank you, Andy.
Check the notes. There's lots of bonuses. Lots of bonuses got thrown around as well. So
Did you have a good game?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yes.
yeah,
Good.
thank you.
Happy.
And I do want to thank everyone for letting me join this year. I appreciate the game.
All good. Glad to have you. Okay.
Marvelous.
Good night.
Good night.
Night. Happy
Good night.
Christmas.
Happy season and all that.
Yeah, have a good Christmas. That's an instruction.
Happy holidays to anybody who listens. Let us know when we're out of recording, Brad.
Yep, I was just about to send that off. So yeah, happy holidays to everybody, and I will try to get the rest of these uploads going so we're caught up for the end of the year because I am way behind on that. But yeah, we will see you all in the next one.